What? Hello, everybody. Oh gosh, let me get all this set up here. Where's my chat? Oh no. Chat, come back. Hello, chat. Are you coming? Hello. Do I need any of these tabs open anymore? Not making a decision right now. Oh my word. I think putting on this hoodie might have been an immediate mistake. Oh, hey. Thank you, In a Box. I'm not sure when that dono came in. I'm sure it came in earlier today. In a Box donated 20 bucks and said, I'm very much looking forward to the Sunday streams coming back. Well, they should be back this week, but let me. Okay, hold on. Come back. Where's chat? Come back. I need you. And then I need to change the golem. The golem? Not what I meant to say. There we go. We added it to the stream goal. Okay, hello. What's up, Nikki, in the YouTube chat? You're so lonely in the YouTube chat over there. So sad. So sad. Lonely. Lonely in the YouTube chat. The chat lag is huge at the moment. Yeah, I've noticed, so there's a couple things. One, there's like a power fluctuation that happens in my house sometimes. And then also, I really feel like the internet is just like randomly bugging out. But yeah, so this is part of the reason why the lag is a little bit bigger than usual is like a month or two ago, a couple months ago, I changed the settings on YouTube so that it would be able to do live captions. So that kind of increased the amount of chat lag. But if there's more lag, I do not know what I haven't changed anything. So it's kind of hard to say what the exact problem is. I feel like I need my glasses. I might have to run and get my glasses. I haven't been wearing them because they're just so, like, right here behind my ears. It just digs into my head. I need to take my glasses back into the glasses store and have them fix it. Because, yeah, I've been like, wow, I do not want to use any glasses right now with it squeezing my head like that. But anyway, what's up, Byron? If the channel's name is changed to Musing Moss, then does the website name have to change as well? I am coming up on the renewal for that in a few months, and so I'm basically giving myself I'm giving myself a little bit of time to like decide, because like I do feel like the name Luxander has a lot of brand recognition around it. This is part of why it's like Luxander is the name that I have gone by for such a long time in various contexts, and it's very alienating for your name to be like a brand. So I've been like, do I want to change my name? Do I want to change the name of the channel? Maybe both. But anyway, I haven't yet decided if I'm going to change the name of the website. And like patreon.com/Luxander. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. What do we have opinions? Do we have opinions on like, do we want it's like Musing Moss brought to you by Luxander? And like the Patreon, like changing the name of the Patreon could make people feel like they're narrowing it down and only supporting the video essays, but I send people to the Patreon from my second channel as well. So I kind of view, I guess, the Patreon as like, and by extension, I guess the website itself too. Like I should put up a link on the website to my second channel. I don't think I have one right now. But I kind of view I view the website and the Patreon as kind of at the root of both. Because I'm going to be doing a lot more with my second channel. I know it's kind of, excuse me, oh my gosh, I'm burpy. It's really slow right now on the second channel just because I haven't had a lot to record, or I've wanted to record, but the thing that I'm trying to show, like I wanted to make a video about kombucha, but all of my kombucha is held in glass containers, which means that there is a reflection of my entire house. And I'm like, how can I film this in a way that doesn't like dox where I live? So yeah, those are some interesting things that you have to keep in consideration. It's like I've wanted to post on the second channel but I can't. Also, so sad. First of all, hit the like button. Please, love you. Thank you. Um, I want to drink kombucha today, but my booch, like I have 2 bottles of booch right now that are in their like second ferment, and I'm like ready to drink them, and they are so bubbly, but they're so bubbly that if I were to just crack the whole thing open, it would. I did have that happen once already with a previous batch where it just shot out foam. Um, so which means it's going well. It means the fermentation process is going well, but I'm just like opening it a little bit and letting it, and then the foam is like rising to the top, and I'm just trying to let it off gas a little bit and then crack it and like properly crack it open later. But I want to drink the booch. I don't have a flavored drink right now. I just have my water. Hey Pax, Legomenon is a word that only occurs once within a context, either in the written record of an entire language. Yeah, that is one of my patrons right now, isn't it? Hello, Kitty Tick. What's up, Drea? I know I already answered your question, or I responded to your comment, but I want to say hello directly. There's nothing wrong with the Lux name. Using Moss as the name of the specific channel, not all your offerings. Yeah, that's kind of how I see it. Like, yeah, like Musing Moss brought to you by Luxander, but also you can call me Moss in the context of doing Musing Moss, because I am the Moss who's musing. I cannot wait. I'm like starting to reimagine what the background is gonna look like. And it might even be a couple years before the background is at its full fruition. And there's also the question of like, is my stream background going to be the same location where I film? But like, yeah, I'm just feeling so much like creative electric energy right now, and it feels amazing. What's up, Fen? I got to get my sourdough starter going. Yeah, I think technically you can start sourdough starter with Booch Scoby and the other way around. The alliteration works. Thank you. Yes. I love Musing Moss. Like, I think it's a great name. I think it really hammers home the contemplative, calm approach that it's supposed to have. Like, I'm very excited. And I just posted the video today, the first scripted video. It's not technically an essay because I think it lacks some of the structure. I'm imagining one of those moss bath mats just hanging on a wall. Don't even try me, Viren, because I've seen people crochet those. And I'm like, yeah, I might. I don't think I would crochet one big one, because moss doesn't typically grow in like one sheet. I mean, it takes a really long time for it to grow into one big sheet. But I would kind of love to have moss covering stuff. I don't know. I'm still thinking on it. Like this, the vines, it's great for soundproofing. Like it softens the wall. It's good stuff. These are plastic, obviously. I don't know if anybody, I'm sure that some of you have asked before. Maybe not you here in the chat right now, because there's only 20 people. But yeah, this is a good choice as far as soundproofing, but I don't know if that's what I want in the background, or maybe like I could spread it around more and have the vines growing over more stuff. My mother-in-law, she made this quilt, and she does have another one that I was like gushing over, and she was like, okay, well that one's for you too. And it's fucking so pretty, and it would match the nature vibes, but she's ADD and completely untreated and in her 60s, so who the fuck knows if she's going to finish the one that I was, or if she'll even remember that I was like, wow, I love this one, Mom. It would be cool to hang a large branch on the back wall and then hang moss from it. Yeah. Yeah, those are all really good ideas. So it's just kind of cool to feel like you have creative energy again, because I don't know. I've been feeling for a couple of years really that I would like to start doing creative stuff again. Like I used to write poetry when I was a kid, like a teenager. Uh, and I've done a little bit of poetry here and there. I did consider the idea of doing short stories based on like Tumblr prompts, and I did one, and I enjoyed it. But I felt like it was a lot of work. Honestly, like it just felt like a lot of work. So maybe short stories with like a hard stop or like a hard word count stop or something. So I don't know. And like I also used to create physical art. I don't know if any of you know that. I don't really talk about it that much. I mean, like I crochet now, obviously. Like, do I have anything on my desk that yeah. Okay, here's a mushroom that I made. And oh, I made both of those pumpkins. This orange pumpkin and this white pumpkin. I crocheted both of those. There's a crochet witch hat with it's got cat ear holes, so it's made to put on your cat, but it's just a witch hat right now on top of my cauldron. So yeah, I crochet stuff, but that's not the same as like freely creativity kind of like I follow patterns when I do crochet, but as far as creative, like I came up with the idea and I fabricated this thing all by myself. Hi Gayfesh, welcome in. I I mean obviously I did art classes in high school. I was very into it. I know you can't see it, but on my shelf over here I have one thing I made out of clay. I'm not going to try to get it down right now, but I miss anything? Not yet. Not really. We just chit-chatting. I'm kind of just talking about creative energy right now and being excited to do new things, and like here are the things I used to do that were creative. My partner got me into doing metalsmithing, and I still literally like again just off camera I have some stuff that I made that like you take sheet metal like copper or something like that, silver, and you make a design and you put the design on the metal and then you cut out the shape with a little saw. Love the jerking off motion. Yes, it is literally like that the entire time. Um and yeah, like I have jewelry that I have made. I've sold jewelry that I've made. Free-handed ideas, like original concepts. Um and I just haven't, but part of it is like living in a rental, like where yeah, Phoebe G, I see the chat lag a little bit. Yes, I made jewelry. Um and honestly, like with the little tiny mushrooms, I'm considering putting them on earrings. Like I would easily sell those for like $60 a pop. Two of these, like a pair of earrings for $60, $30 each, I guess. Um yeah, so it's just really nice, I think for a lot of people, your 20s are such a random and confusing time. And then you get to be 30 and you kind of like reconnect with some of the things that you lost when you were younger. Like, because your 20s are so busy and stressful, like, and your brain is still finishing cooking and stuff. Yeah, so I'm kind of just enjoying that I used to really enjoy writing. When I would get an essay assignment, I would make it fun for myself. Like when let's see, it was actually an assignment I think for my history class, not for an English class, that we were made to like write an essay about a historical figure. I chose Vlad the Impaler. And I did my research about Vlad the Impaler, and like I had a lot of fun with it because I was like, this is the guy who everybody like says Dracula is based off of. So I had fun doing that. So yeah, now I'm like, yeah, I have all these ideas and I want to create artistically. Like I want to write a poem when poems suddenly occur to me. And I've been wanting to get back into physical media art. Let's follow a Bob Ross video. And like Bob Ross did this one which was like in response to people saying that he was doing something that was not accessible for colorblind people. So he did an episode of the show where he did a black and white painting, and I'm like, oh, based, I could do that. It would be, I could just get a thing of white paint and a thing of black paint and a canvas and just go. Are you still Luxander or are you now Moss? Sorry if this was addressed already. I'm not going to be upset with either Luxander or Moss. Like, you could look at it as like Musing Moss brought to you by Luxander. Like, Luxander just has such strong brand recognition that I don't know that I want to completely abandon that publicly, but it is also very accurate to also refer to me as Moss because I am the Moss who is musing. If you join channel memberships, by the way, I just started channel memberships, which is separate to Patreon. Some of the rewards do overlap between Patreon and channel memberships, but like if you become a member on the channel, you are a muse. I don't think I have any yet. So whoever wants to become the first muse for the Musing Moss channel. Anything Bob Ross's happy little moments? Yeah. Honestly, my 20s need to be Sparta kicked down the memory hole. So much wasted time and energy. Yeah, genuinely. Like, sorry, I spiked the audio a little bit there, but when I was in my 20s, I would literally lose an entire day. And I was just talking to my therapist about OCD earlier today because this kind of falls under that pattern. I would be like obsessively ruminating on like an argument that I had had with my partner. And I would lose like an entire day just pacing, just thinking about it and pacing and rephrasing it and pacing, like genuinely like 6 to 8 hours. I would be exhausted at the end of the day because I just couldn't stop pacing. And that's what my 20s were like. So yeah, I tried a lot of things that didn't work. And I do feel in a way that it was kind of a waste of time. But like, I accept that I had to go through that in order to become this version of me. And that someday I might look back at this version of me and go, wow, that little person trying to figure things out. I need to find someone to help me write a grant proposal because I might have thought up a pretty neat method to help reduce drought impact in forests, especially near cities. That's fucking cool. See, I love that. Like the inventiveness, like the freedom of thought. You know, I now like I don't have to keep researching the day-to-day politics stuff. I have the freedom to turn my Twitter off and go think about something else. Like I have this book. It's not really within reach right now. I got from the library a book by Simone Weir. It's like a philosophy book, and I'm going to read a philosophy book. I know I talked about it a few weeks ago, and I ended up putting that project aside temporarily. But like thinking up solutions to problems is also creative thought process. So that's kind of where I'm at, is just feeling like I'm finally able to lean into something. And it's terrifying. Like I'm frankly like it's scary that this is a whole new version of like my channel, you know? I think that the stream culture is going to do fairly okay. I don't know. Like I do get more clicks on the streams if there is some kind of contentious title. Because, you know, just like everything else, it's a outrage marketing, clickbait culture. I don't know what exactly I'm going to do about the streams. Like I want them to perform well, but I want them to perform well not doing politics the way that we did before. We can still talk about it, just not the same way. And like, yeah. Although I will say, like, the comments on this video that I posted today, I'm very hopeful because I think a lot of people like me and they like my channel, but they can't watch it because of the same reason why I'm quitting doing the content that I was doing before. That, like, I had several comments who were like, yeah, I haven't been watching you as much because I also, this person says, tired of the misery mill. I've been avoiding the channel for a while for my mental health. Yeah. So I think, and like a lot of people have commented like, yeah, I do enjoy um, scripted content. So I'm looking forward to seeing your version of scripted content. And it's like, yeah, everybody's been very sweet in the comments, except for one person. Like, everybody's been very sweet, very kind, and very complimentary. And then this, I saw this one person, and I just want to talk about it really fast. Hold on. Where is it? There it is. In my 20s, I did the things I was supposed to do and regretted it. Sounds like ADHD too. Yeah, there are some really distinct things about OCD that I learned today. I'm excited that I got to learn. Having a therapist is good. Still kind of ready to take a break from therapy. I'm going to see her again in 1 month and kind of reevaluate, like, if we're going to continue doing it. But yeah, with ADHD, I know you can kind of get fixated on things. It was like an anxiety. It was a compulsion. Like, I could not stop pacing. That was the problem. Like, I physically, I would try to sit down and then I had to get back up and just couldn't stop. It was fucking crazy. Politics are so toxic right now. I would love to geek out about plants. Ooh, yes. I haven't done a plant roll call in a long time. I have acquired new plants. I've killed plants. I've gotten rid of plants. How many plants do I even have right now? I think I only have like 10 plants right now. I slimmed down, and I'm hoping that these plants survive the 3-day trip to frickin' halfway across the country in the middle of the winter. It might be a more reasonable choice for me to just get rid of all my plants, but I don't want to. Anyway, so part of the video, if you haven't already watched it, shame on you. It's only 9 minutes long. My little tiny short essay that I wrote and put out today. So I get to a point kind of late in the video where I'm talking about how paying attention to politics every day makes you feel powerless and small. And I gave the context specifically, watching pro-Palestine protesters get cracked down on college campuses and mask bans being passed as a subterfuge kind of way to undermine protests, while also knowing that we're in a giant summer COVID wave a couple months ago. And while all that is going on, seeing the images of what's going on in Gaza, like, it just makes you feel powerless. And the implied context is that I think that the system is designed in such a way that we can't actually change things that are really important. But this person said, like, I don't understand that it makes you feel powerless point. I mean, I get it, but this is a bad attitude to approach politics with. And I'm like, you seem to have missed the entire preceding setup to me saying it makes me feel powerless. Like, knowing that a genocide is happening and we can't stop it, and we're supposed to vote for Democrats to get what we want. And we did vote for Democrats, and Democrats are in power. And some of these college campuses are even in progressive states or progressive cities. And colleges are supposed to be liberal institutions. And for that to be the context in which police are being violent toward peaceful protesters, and they're allowing Zionists to be violent toward peaceful pro-Palestine protesters, like, I genuinely don't know how you can watch that whole situation play out and think that our vote or our protest is in any way going to meaningfully change anything. And that is, for me in this context, it's to say I'm going to give up and start doing something else. Because I think the only alternative is escalating tactics in a way that you can't really talk about publicly. So my choice is, instead of escalating my tactics, I'm just going to shift to something else and focus on small scale change that is attainable for me as an individual person. So that's like the only negative comment really that this video got today, was someone just fundamentally not understanding that I have been deeply invested in politics for a long time. I mean, I started really paying attention when I was a teenager, like 15 years ago. And I think that this process ch- churns through people. Like that you have fresh-faced people come in and they go, "We're going to change things. We're going to do it." And then you get arrested. And then you get beat up by a cop. And then I'm not putting this in any particular order. I'm just saying like and then these things happen to you. And more money gets sent to Israel and like you just keep witnessing these events and you start to feel the futility of the kind of action that we're taking right now. So, like me communicating politics to you all is ultimately not changing anything on a broad scale. I might be helping illuminate things for certain individuals. At one time, someone told me that I was their primary source of news from America. I think they were from the UK. And I was like, wow, that is a huge thing. That's like a huge sort of responsibility, I guess. But yeah, I just do feel that there's only so much you can do against this machine that is designed to deflect any of your attempts to change it. Like that the system itself is designed in favor of its own perpetuation in a way that like yeah, exactly, cursed chaos. This is literally why I'm an anarchist. Like that system is not one that you can engage in without becoming part of that system. And I'm not saying not to vote. I'm going to still vote. I'm going to vote for Kamala, even though I fucking hate her. And it's like, it's not unique to her because she's a woman or because she's black or anything. I fucking hate Joe Biden too, to be clear. I've talked about this a lot, but like, I'm going to vote for her anyway because I don't want things to get worse in the way that they would get worse if Trump was in office. I don't think that anything's going to get better as far as the Gaza situation, which is why I'm like, oh, I'm kind of checked out of that. And that's a privilege. And maybe some people would say that that's I don't know. I really disagree with the whole you're morally obligated to witness this horrendous thing happening. Like, actually no, I don't think that you are. I think that you're morally obligated to do whatever is going to make you effective at changing things. Have you read Arthur Kessler by any chance? No, I don't know who that is. I'm going to look it up though. Arthur Kessler. Austro-Hungarian born author and journalist, born in Budapest. Joined the Communist Party of Germany, but resigned in 1938 after becoming disillusioned with Stalinism. Cool, I'll keep that tab open for later. Voting at this point is choosing your enemy. Yeah, it's choosing who you're going to fight against the entire fucking time they're a president, because you're going to have to fight against that person. And it clearly doesn't work. Like, we're trying to fight against what Joe Biden is doing with sending money to Israel, and it doesn't work. So, let's do something else. There are two ways to avoid all the nonsense taxes in America based on how rich people do it. Consistently be selling in and out of the stock market instead of certain margins, or start a charity. If any of my company ideas work out, I'm going to go the charity route because, to be honest, I have not been okay with how the taxes are spent for a long time. I want to spend them actually helping people. Yeah, for sure. Can't break their system with the way it works. My thought is if I build a money machine centered around giving everything away, giving away everything, I can, similar to Hank Green and some of his stuff. Yeah. There's a lot of videos on Arthur Kessler. Cool. Yeah, I have a tab open for on Google, and I will have to check him out. IMO breaking the system is the only viable path forward. Okay. It's going to break itself. Like, we are officially, like, over the tipping point for, like, even if we stop all carbon emissions now, like, no more carbon, period. Everything is renewable. We scale back production on things. We scale back car use and everything, blah, blah, blah. We're past the point of no return. Things are going to continue to spiral out and get worse, which is going to impact the economy, which is going to impact the government and stuff. So like this is part of why I'm like moving the direction that I'm moving is not only creatively but like with my living situation, and like yeah, I'm going to start producing food and I'm going to have a YouTube channel about producing food so that I can share that knowledge and monetize it. But like the system is on its way out and we have to start building the infrastructure now to handle that. I mean, I would say, or there's going to be a lot of death and grief, but there is going to be death and grief anyway. In order to mitigate some of the death and grief, we need to start building local infrastructure to be prepared to handle these changes. Yes, at the very least, Kamala isn't an unhinged wannabe dictator. That's true. We need new tires and new paving materials as much as anything. Yeah. What are we going to do about tires? Right? Like tires are just, they degrade so fast and they create microplastics. And surely there's some other better material we could be using. It's like, are we going to get to a place where, I mean, I know that it's a kind of anarchist ideal to have fewer cars. I love having a car. I know that this is a result of like being in the society that I'm in, but I like being able to get a large amount of groceries. I like being able to go where I want to go without having to plan it in extensive detail. Although I guess like the goal of a society that has robust public transit is that the buses run so often that you don't really need to plan your day around it. But like the spontaneity of having a car and being able to go like, I'm going to travel somewhere far away and then I'll still have my car so that I can drive and get around in the absence of knowledge of how this particular city's public transit system works, you know? Like I do enjoy having a car. It provides like a lot of individual freedom, but I'm not going to try to argue that that's like a better way for society to live. I just personally really like it. But what do you do if there's no gasoline? Or what do you do if you cannot replace your tires? Like, there aren't good answers to those kind of questions. What should I change the title of the stream to that's reflective of this conversation? That people might actually click on? You could get an electric bike with a thing attached to it for your stuff. I mean, this kind of doesn't change the tires question because bike tires are also made out of fucking rubber. We need to go back to a European style city design with mixed zoning so we don't have to travel 20 miles to get to work and food and such. Yeah. I think that's kind of the idea behind walkable cities is, you know, yeah, you don't have a giant chunk of area that's only residential and you have to journey out and travel to the part of the city that's only commercial and then do all your shopping and then return to the suburb or whatever. It's interesting because I don't want to talk about, I don't want to like do my little segments when I talk for talking about politics, but I still enjoy the conversation. Okay, I changed the title of the stream. Let's see how that works. You all have to share the stream too. I don't normally ask for that, but if we want to have more people here during the like streams where I'm not putting a clickbait title and we're not talking about fucking JK Rowling or whatever, y'all have to help, okay? You have to assist. I'm starting to post links on Twitter and shit, and I fucking hate doing that, and there's kind of no point to doing it, but I do still... I'm like, I need to start doing this. You got to take advantage of whatever small amount of benefit you can. Even if only one person sees it and clicks in, it's still worth it. Yes, like the stream. I haven't heard anyone talk about tire materials. Yeah. And like, I get it. Tires have evolved to be the way that they are because, like, wood, for example, like, doesn't absorb shock. Post on B-Sky. Yeah, I did post it on B-Sky. So, like, something that can contain air is good. Apparently, there are renewable tires. Nice. I bet that they're expensive, and that's the main reason why they haven't taken off. Yeah, of course, bikes have less rubber because the tires are smaller, but yeah, still. We should switch back to paving stones and lower the general speed cars go. Make it so there are car lots next to train stations, and then you can just take a car as part of buying into the public transit and return. Yeah, I see what you mean. Like, kind of like those bike stations where you can sort of rent a bike and then drive it to another part of the city and park the bike and like store it. Just have that for cars. Yeah, I mean, sure. And we know that Roman roads, like there are some Roman roads that still exist today. And granted, they are probably not taking car traffic. So they're not driving like, you're not driving these giant vehicles that are incredibly heavy on those roads. So they're holding up for that reason. But I mean, they did take cart travel for a really long time. So I think that there is something to be said for those materials lasting longer. Wait, are they really? Are the Roman roads driven on, actually? They just maintain them using the old Roman kilns built along the sides of them. What? Man. Oh, man. I ruined my streak of not thinking about the Roman Empire. I think about the Roman Empire probably like I like that meme that's like men think about the Roman Empire every so and so. Um oh my god, my eyeball. Yes. I did not know Jessica Metal very well. Um she she was a mod for Demon Mama and a member of that community, and like I have been in a private group chat that Jessica is in, and Jessica suddenly passed away a couple days ago. So yeah, Gayfesh has posted the link there to the GoFundMe for funeral costs, and I'm gonna retweet it. It's very strange to know someone kind of obliquely. Like, I didn't know her very well. I just, I'm familiar with her as part of the community. But yeah, she just, we don't know the cause of death. I don't think it has been advertised. They're still in the process of like she only died 2 days ago. So the process of trying to figure all that shit out is still going. But they're raising money for the funeral costs and stuff. So, but yeah, apparently she just like stopped breathing and couldn't be resuscitated. So that's fucking terrifying and very unfortunate. It's very sad that this is happening more and more often to young people. So spooky, scary. Definitely something that is not particularly fun to keep reading about sudden death of relatively young people, relatively healthy people, when I was like, I just had COVID, and that's why. It's a big part of why there's so much sudden death right now. The original parts of Route 66 is red brick, and you can still drive 20 miles of it. Holy shit. There's a lot of paver roads in a lot of German villages. Yeah. It's Panda in the YouTube chat says there's something similar to that car share idea in various European countries. Nice. And their cars are so much smaller. European cars are smaller. I think one way to help out would be to reduce our reliance on semi-trucks. They cause a lot of road wear, traffic congestion, and straight-up pollution. We need to become more local. Yeah. I mean, this is part of... I think this is... the philosophy of this is degrowth, right? The idea that, like, our society at the scale that it exists currently is unsustainable. And it doesn't mean, oh, in order to keep driving cars, we need to find a different way to run cars. Like, so now we have this industry of electric and hybrid vehicles that are competing against gas vehicles, right? But like, that's not the solution to semi-trucks. Excuse me. The solution is like part of that. Like partly, let's go ahead and change the way that we do things. But also, like, I mean, change the way that the technology works. But also, we should look at, like, is this sustainable? Is it sustainable for everyone in the entire continental United States to have constant, easy access to Hershey's chocolate, for one example? Like, obviously, that's nice. It's a commodity that we have come to appreciate. But is that... like, are all of the things that go into making that happen, is that how we want to live in society? Like, is that a reasonable way to live on the planet? That slave labor grows the chocolate, or like the cacao, what are they fucking called? It's like this weird, ugly fruit, and then it's the seeds of the ugly fruit that actually make the chocolate, and the product that comes out is like dark chocolate, and then that gets processed and turned into milk chocolate, right? So, like, slave labor of like, what are they, third world countries, I guess is like the way that you would phrase that. Slave labor in third world countries, a vast network of processing and importation, and then sending it to various places on semi-trucks, and the whole premise of a retail store. You know, I think at so many different points in that process, we could identify things which are harmful, and that, like, maybe we should rework that. Like, I do think that it would probably be better for the planet if we lived in a global society where chocolate was an extremely rare delicacy, which, if you leave capitalism in place, that means that it's an extremely rare and expensive delicacy, in the same way that, like, in feudal society, when chocolate was kind of... chocolate and coffee, as a matter of fact, when they were first being discovered, it was something that rich people got. I mean, in Europe anyway. Like, rich people had access to that stuff, and it was a special treat for them. But then, like, I guess the direction that our society has been going has been, like, regular people want access to the trappings of wealth, and that includes delicacies. So that's why, I think that's part of why people say, like, we live in, like, the richest period of human history, that people now have access to things that kings used to have access to. And it's kind of part of this whole, you can imagine yourself as a super rich person if you have access to those trappings, if you can afford the really nice watch, if you can afford, if everybody has easy access to chocolate, you know, you're, oh my God, you're living like a king. More trains? Yeah, more trains. But I don't want my life to be a little bit worse. I don't want to wait 6 months for strawberry season. Get a fucking greenhouse. Like, we're fully capable of growing food out of season without it being like a global process that disenfranchises people. Hello, robot. I don't know if it's an allergy, but chocolate burns my mouth like hot peppers. It tastes like chocolate but leaves my mouth burning. Yeah, bud, I think that's an allergy. I'm pretty sure that you should stop eating chocolate. Or maybe, I don't know, like, does dark chocolate do that to you? Because, it could be that it's something else about the process. But yeah, it does kind of sound like you might be really obviously allergic to chocolate. Chocolate burns my mouth like peppers. It's like probably not a good thing. Probably not good. Sugar should be super duper taxed, I reckon. Yeah, that's been a thing that I've been thinking about. I've been making kombucha, and it's best for the first ferment. You do 2 separate fermentations. The first ferment, it's best to use like pure sugar and not like a fruit sugar. And then the second ferment, you can implement like fruits and other kinds of flavors. But yeah, what would I do if global supply chains falter and I can't access cane sugar? Like, and you can't use honey for the first ferment either because it kills the SCOBY. There is another kind of drink called June that is like kombucha but with honey. But yeah, like, how am I gonna access just regular plain sugar? I don't know how the fucking process goes to make sugar. I will be growing my own coffee. I'll have to hit you up, Kitty Tick, because life without coffee would be very sad. To be fair, a lot of our wants are driven by corporate advertising. Do we need chocolate? No, but we keep seeing information that chocolate is to live for, so that is where our brains go. Yeah, yeah. It is. Like, a lot of our desires are shaped by what corporations decide. Oh, sugar beet. Ooh, yes, that's a good idea. I don't know if you can use apple juice for kombucha sugar. It would flavor it like apple. So then all of your kombucha would be apple flavor. But yeah, like, the desire to shave your legs is originally from a corporatized, like, they genuinely just invented the idea of women shaving their legs and armpits so that they could sell razors to women. Like, my desire to shave my legs now, I don't shave, I use an epilator, but my desire to use an epilator now, like, why do I keep doing that? Instead of probably, I think what would be kind of cool is if we could grow out our body hair and then we just use conditioner on it, like use conditioner to soften our hair, so you could then have like soft, like pleasant body hair, and just like finding a different way of grooming it that isn't just removing it. Yeah, beetroot. Okay, yeah. That's a good idea. I'll keep that in mind. Beetroot. Gayfish says, but the first time I was like, I'm gonna sit and eat a whole pineapple is when I learned that pineapple dissolves meat because my mouth was bleeding halfway through and I still didn't immediately stop. Yeah, I like to eat pineapple because I like to exert dominance over something that is trying to digest me back. I've never eaten so much pineapple that I've bled before. You can grow sugarcane in Oregon. It's a great source of sugar that all you do is drain the syrup from the segments onto a pan and let them dry. Sugar. What? Wow. Based on, like, I watched a video about the particular brutality toward the slaves in sugarcane plantations in, like, the Caribbean, and that made me think that it must be a highly labor-intensive process. But I think that it was just cruel because it was like, is like a short period of time between when you harvest the sugarcane versus when you need to process it, or the sugar cane stuff will go rancid very quickly. So I think it was just like 48 nonstop hours of work immediately following the harvest. But yeah, for some reason, like, I guess if you do a much smaller scale, then yeah. Hair not on my head is evil from an autistic. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I do not like it when my leg hair is long enough that I can feel it, like blowing in the wind. Not a huge fan of that. Not a big fan of my leg hair blowing in the wind. Cane sugar smells worse than dirty ass. I mean, is cane sugar not... I guess the cane sugar that we have now is still highly processed. Like, white sugar is probably not the product that you get from sugarcane. What am I looking at here? Ooh, that's fun. Why is this picture so tiny? This is a pineapple under an electron microscope, and I cannot make it any bigger. I am so sorry. I found this is a picture of why apple hurts. Is it sharp? Is it like sharp? Is that why? I like to find sugar alternatives that isn't sweetener for my dad as he's diabetic. Yeah. I'm really glad that I'm not diabetic. I'm sorry that your dad's diabetic. It seems like it's really kind of difficult to live your life with that going on. Like, yay. I don't need that tab open. Man, people are just being so nice in the comments. Someone said, I'm liking your new channel name. Like lichen, like Lichen. It's so ripe for dumb wordplay, but I love wordplay. It's so fun. But yeah, people are so nice. People are telling me that I look so much happier discussing things this way, like in the video I posted today. Yeah, it's so nice. Stevia tends to be a good natural sweetener. Stevia! What's up, Malibu? Says, personally, not a big fan of freshly squeezed sugarcane, but the cows get really happy on syrup making day because they get all the scraps. Nice. Isn't rum distilled from fermented sugarcane? I believe so. That makes sense why it has so much flavor. Fermented sugarcane. Teach us your wisdom, primeval plant. Yeah. There used to be different grades of sugar. The Wikipedia page on Sugarloaf has a section on it. Ooh, fun. Let me see. Sugarloaf was the usual form in which refined sugar was sold, and wow, okay, listen, don't, okay, thank you. Oh yeah, I've seen one of these. Like, I saw one of these on Sorted Food. A tall cone with a rounded top was the end product of a process in which dark molasses, a rich raw sugar that was imported from sugar-growing regions, was refined into white sugar. Yeah. So I saw, like, it was like this, but it was not refined into white sugar. It was still like that dark brown molassesy sugar. And I think that the way it actually works is, like, I think the cone part is the bottom. Like, it would sit in something, and then you would chip off bits from the wide end, Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button. Yeah, that's neat. Anyone remember sugar cubes? I was not around. I mean, I know the concept of sugar cubes. Obviously, I've heard of it, but I've never experienced sugar cubes. Honestly, like brown sugar more than white sugar. Yeah, I mean, it sort of depends on the application, right? Because brown sugar has the flavor of molasses. And so that can be like, oh my God, making chili. One time I put white sugar in a chili and it fucking completely ruined it. I ended up putting in like so much other spices trying to balance it out and compensate it. Didn't work. Maybe it needed a little bit of acid now that I know more about cooking, but if you're going to put sweetener into your chili to balance out the other flavors, like use brown sugar or sometimes maple syrup, I guess, but I would just use brown sugar. Brown sugar and cookies is so yum. Yes. Yeah, you get that molassesy like stickiness. Super good. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I didn't warm up my voice at all today, so we will see how long this lasts. I was planning to just do a regular length stream, but we'll see. I am feeling mostly better after my COVID infection. I haven't really tried to do any cardio, and I think it's wise to not do cardio. And I was having a little bit of shortness of breath, but that's getting a little bit better now. So fingers crossed that nothing crazy happens. Water. I'm noticing a trend with your hangouts that we tend to devolve into talking about food. I mean, I'm a foodie. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little bit of a foodie. I like different methods. I ate right before stream though, so I'm not gonna be hungry for a bit. And when we're talking about the climate, like the topic of climate, for me as a solutions oriented person, necessitates a conversation about food. So it makes sense. But we can try to talk about food less. I'm just really fascinated by food history and, you know, okay. I had this thought recently, and I can't remember if I've shared it with stream or not. If I have, let me know. But I had this thought that, okay, people say, yo, there's a reason why people don't do. Oh my God, my brain is blanking out right now. There's a reason why people don't do subsistence farming anymore. And it's that it fucking sucks and it takes all your time and you can't do anything else. And I find that really interesting because I've also like seen videos about like medieval people, and this is like feudalism during a time where your job was you lived on some land that a lord owned and you farmed it and you made food. Like you produced food products for the lord. And then that was like taxed or whatever. Slightly different situations, I'm sure. But I learned that medieval peasants only worked about 20 hours a week. Which is interesting because you think, wow, well, these people are like glorified slaves and they had to produce food for themselves and the Lord got to take some of it. So, like, what's the deal with that? How could that possibly have been the case? And then along that, there's this modern idea that, well, there's a reason people don't do subsistence farming. I think the reason we have this idea that people don't do subsistence farming because it fucking sucks and it takes all your time. I think that is a manufactured capitalist refrain where they basically are saying, because I think the reason why people don't do subsistence farming is because industrialization happened and we wanted people to stop working the land and to start working in industry. And I don't mean we as in me, obviously, but like culturally, a bunch of people who own shit decided, like, yeah, well, we need these farmers to come work in our factories, so we're going to gradually industrialize farming and subsidize industrialized practices of farming so that fewer farmers can produce more food so that these laborers are available to do other things. Like, genuinely, I want to do more research on this because I think that this would actually be a really interesting video topic. Oh my god, this is great. I need to start a list. Hold on. I love having like a list of actually interesting history video ideas. So like, yeah, what, like, would people do more small scale farming if it weren't for the fact that we had been pulled away from doing so by like the existence of factories and other types of industry like that? How do I put this in my notes so that I'm gonna know that I need to research it further? Let's just put The Last of Us, because that's on my list of things. I'm already in the process of making that video. Also kind of funny that the way that I just wrote that, it looks like it says The Last of US, when that is kind of like what the show is about. Anyway, a lot of historical farmers had to work their local lord's land in addition to their own smaller plots, which got presumably the minority of their labor. Yeah. But so that's fitting in, like, what I'm saying is, even with all the work that they were supposed to do, they, according to this thing that I was either reading or watching, I can't remember what it specifically, but it was like medieval peasants worked 20 hours a week. And obviously that's like an average. So you would work a lot more during planting and harvesting season, and very little work would be done over the winter, or at least different work would be done over the winter. But like, how can it be that medieval peasants worked 20 hours a week and subsistence farming isn't sustainable for the individual? And I'm not even advocating that individual people should each have their own garden and whatever. Like, I do like the idea of community gardens. I have benefited from one. I had my own little plot at my community garden, and then there was a communal area where everyone could plant in there, and like my basil that I planted in there exploded because it was composted and everything. Like, everyone could contribute to it and everyone could harvest from it. So like, why don't we do more of that? Have communal gardens. Like, what if your neighborhood had a chicken coop? You know what I mean? As opposed to, like, basically I'm just trying to say that there's a middle ground between industrialized farming practices and then like feudalistic subsistence farming. And yeah, subsistence farming would be even easier if you didn't have to work for the local duke. Sure, yeah, exactly. Storm Chaser Patrick, I'm so sorry. Oh, you're just beyond? You just changed your name? Sank hundreds of hours into building a bespoke D&D campaign for my players, tailoring it to their characters. They all bailed by text and I'm pissed. Yeah, I would not invite them back again either. Okay. So this video, I'm just gonna kind of tie some ideas together. Medieval peasants, subsistence farming, industrialization has crippled the globe. Nature fail as technology spread. And in its wake, a market erected. Anyway, that's a Repo the Genetic Opera reference for anybody who's interested. Like, an extremely niche reference to 30 people in here. Hi. I also think it would be really interesting. So some people also commented on the video today that they're like, oh, like one of the things that I pointed out was that um I just got really distracted by the most recent comment that was posted on here. Some people are rude sometimes. Um you could also talk about homespun clothing. Perhaps what's the context of that? Because that is probably something I should learn about a little bit. Um wow, what was I even doing? I got so distracted by this person. Um oh yeah, people are like, yeah, people don't quit on the right wing. Because one of the things I pointed out in the video from today is that left wingers and progressives seem like we hit burnout more often than right wingers. You know, like ContraPoints has dramatically shifted what she does. She goes on podcasts with other people, she is interviewed by other people, and she posts almost exclusively on her Patreon. And like occasionally she posts a big video, but it seems like she's not getting as directly involved in like politics. She'll make a video about Twilight, whatever. Like I think that's her most recent video is about Twilight, and I did not watch it. But she doesn't talk about like capitalism anymore. And it seems like she's even not talking about trans issues as much anymore, right? So why is it that so many kind of big progressives are leaving, or they're leaving and then coming back provisionally, or they're shifting content to something else? Like, that's happening a lot, but we do not see right-wingers really quitting. I know everybody was talking about earlier today, like, LOL, Tim Pool said that he's going to stop posting, but we know that that's not going to happen. We know that he's just doing that to generate clicks and all that bullshit. So, yeah, but, like, why? Like, what is the psychology behind all of this? So, I do think it would be really interesting to kind of do a video going in a deeper kind of introspection, not introspection, because that would be whatever. A deeper view on right-wing creators and I guess right-wing audiences and why it is that they seem to be perpetually galvanized and we don't see the creators dropping out. Like Richard Spencer kind of dropped out of the public eye for a little bit, but he still does live streams and stuff. He hasn't quit. And there's just so many. Like Ben Shapiro still going strong. Like Steven Crowder still going strong. All these folks seem like they have more energy in a way. And so I think it was interesting. Like, why do they seem to have infinite energy? Is it just that this is profitable for them and that makes it so that they can keep doing it? Like, I bet maybe if I was like at a Vosh level of making a shit ton of money, I mean, whatever. Compared to me, I think Vosh probably makes a shit ton of money based on what I know about just video views and his donations and stuff. Like, would I find a way to keep making political content if I was like the Majority Report, like making a shit ton of money doing it? Maybe there's a possibility. Is that why right-wingers keep doing it? Is it that they feel like they're winning and that keeps them galvanized because they feel like they're right and successful? I'm interested in the idea of whether it's sort of an addiction with like feeding their anger and their fear. And that would be, I think, more related to the audience as opposed to the creators themselves. But like, is there a reward feedback system happening where they get angry about something and they're afraid of things and they're reinforcing whatever? I don't know. But I think that's also a really interesting idea. So that's kind of a video that I might make. Why do right-wingers not have burnout? I enjoy shooting the shit with you all in the comments and in the chat about these various ideas that I have. Oh, hey, no worries, Reed. I appreciate the sentiment. If I had reliable work, I'd want to donate. I mean, completely I understand. It's not a big deal. I appreciate the sentiment. If you want to support the show, you totally can. Like, I'm going to be posting videos less often, and they're going to be longer, and they're going to take more work each individual video. So every new video that I post, if you make sure you have the notifications on, if you like, I said like, but if you like, share, comment, and all that shit, that is extremely helpful and deeply appreciated. You know what's really funny? I just want to this most recent comment on the video from today. I think that this person commented like less than 5 seconds into the video, because the video today starts out with like, "What happened to ContraPoints?" And this comment says, "You're poaching her content." Like, okay. All right. When you become a video essayist, if you happen to also be trans, you're poaching ContraPoints content. I don't know, maybe Natalie herself would view... I know that Natalie views Philosophy Tube that way. Like, maybe don't be... I don't know, whatever. I'm not going to shit talk ContraPoints right now. But, yeah, it's just very silly. I made a 9-minute video. ContraPoints makes, like, 50-minute videos. And, like, I'm poaching her content. Ah! Wow. It's fucking stupid. ContraPoints is mommy. I guess in the sense that, like anytime you use bisexual colored lights, it's derivative of ContraPoints. That's why I have to use blue and green, because otherwise it's derivative of ContraPoints. Might be because progressivism is always an uphill battle and our side faces constant losses. A lot of people feel like them making content changes nothing, like Renegade Cut, for example. I've heard of Renegade Cut, but I can't remember what they do specifically. But yeah, I think it is hard when it feels like progressivism is losing the culture war somehow. Being intellectually lazy is more energy efficient, I guess, if not exactly helpful. Yeah, I guess it is. You don't have to think about it very much. Yes, and you can like different people's content for different reasons. Even though ContraPoints herself feels like Philosophy Tube's content is a ripoff of hers, they're very different. They're very distinct. Partially because they're two very different individuals. I think Abigail's content often has a kind of optimistic bend to it, even when it's like a depressing topic. I need to watch her video about death. I never ended up getting around to watching it, but I would like to. Although, okay, if I'm gonna be real, so she did a video talking about like mass death. Let me pull up so that I know at least what the title is, because I forget what it's called. But I think it's her most recent one. And I know that there's a new video coming out Friday this week. How Death Changes Your Perspective. She posted 2 months ago. And I started watching it, and the video is kind of like, it's about mass death and how we ignore it. And she mentions COVID. But I also see her at events. Like, she did a live episode of her podcast. She was unmasked, and I feel pretty confident that the audience was also unmasked. I see her on red carpet events, and she's not wearing a mask. So I just find it hard to take seriously someone making commentary. And I love Abigail, and I want to watch this video, but I struggle with reconciling the idea that someone is trying to talk about the politics and philosophy of ignoring mass death while also not wearing a fucking mask. Like, make it make sense, babe. Make it make sense, darling. Fucking wear a mask. I don't know. That's just me. I'm highly critical of the cognitive dissonance involved there. But even in that context, I feel like Philosophy Tube's content is a bit more optimistic, whereas ContraPoint's content has felt to me like it is more pessimistic. So they're just two completely different people, different approaches, just because they're both trans, just because they both use characters, just because they both use lighting in their videos. They both have philosophy degrees. Like, that doesn't make one of them a ripoff of the other one. They cover different topics and from a totally different perspective from each other. Like, I don't actually know what Abigail's beliefs are, but Abigail has been a big part of why I'm an anarchist now. Whereas I feel it's pretty obvious that ContraPoints is comfortable being more on the side of like liberalism. C's get degrees, but for your health, true. The death one is fantastic. It takes a real turn. Okay. Thank you for the recommendation. I do want to watch it because the politics, I mean, it's not really politics. She's a philosophy teacher. The philosophy of death is very interesting to me. I have bone earrings that I wore in the video. If you didn't see the video today, I think that I need to make some adjustments to my camera or maybe even just get a new camera. But these are like jawbones that I was wearing. And I have real bones over here. Like, this is just a pile of like real bones on my Halloween pagan altar thing. Like, obviously I'm very interested in the philosophy of death. So I need to get in and watch it sometime. Yes, I agree. It's good to get different people's perspectives even on the same subjects. Poaching is really only an issue when you are straight up copying others' work. I used to be in a group chat that was attempting to organize atheist YouTubers. Now, this was like 5 or more years ago. It's not like when I was a baby doing atheist activism. It was more recent getting into atheist activism. Like a couple years ago, I started talking about it. Like, I became friends with Jimmy Snow, and like there were a bunch of other channels like Godless Engineer and fuck, what were some other ones? I can't remember who else at that time. There were a bunch of kind of small channels who were talking about this stuff. And it was actually an idea floated in the group chat that we should coordinate and make videos about the same topic, because the idea was, okay, if one of us makes a video about this topic, that is going to generate interest, and then people will watch videos from other creators about that same topic as we all kind of have our different unique approach to it. So, and like earlier today, I decided to listen to a video about The Good Place, the TV show. And then it started auto-playing a different video about The Good Place. And I was like, okay, sure, I'll go ahead and listen to this video too. And I think that the second video I watched had a lot less value than the first video, for me personally. But yeah, I think people will watch stuff that's related. Like, maybe there's an opinion that you could oversaturate things and like people will only watch 1 or 2 videos about this topic and then they'll get bored of it or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know that any communities have ever tried to sync up like that. Like, this was not intentional, but H-Bomb posted his big video about plagiarism, and then Abigail posted a video about plagiarism, and it was not meant to be that way. But I do think that both of them talking about that topic at the same time was really interesting. At least I think that's the order that it went in. I'm not looking at H-Bomber Guy's channel right now, so I can't see when he uploaded it. Top 10 funny Jason moments from The Good Place. True. It's probable that the culture war is going better than we are allowed to see. Think of all the gamers on the internet making friends all over the world. 20 more years and those kids will be growing up. It's a whole new society coming, no matter how mad the olds want to be. Yeah, I do think it's an interesting conversation, like the difference between the like actually winning or losing the culture war versus the optics of winning or losing the culture war. I don't know. It kind of remains to be seen what's going to happen after this election, I think. We'll figure it out. December 1st, I will celebrate 30 years of my first love. We met at a World AIDS Day event and would change each other's lives forever. Both of our lives would be changed forever. That's really sweet, robot. Dang, 30 years. My partner and I just celebrated our 15-year anniversary, and that was our dating anniversary, and then our 12 years married anniversary also. I genuinely believe we're going to win this election. I felt more strongly that we were going to win the election like a few months ago. Whenever it was that Kamala first took over for Biden, I was excited at that point, and now she's doing nothing but court conservatives, and I have less enthusiasm, but I still feel like more. I don't know. I'm starting to feel more like I did when Biden was running, in the sense that it could go either way. Like, I do kind of feel like it could go either way. Like, can this country get over its hatred of women enough to vote for Kamala? Are there enough Republicans that she's going to court away from Trump that, like, she'll get them? Is she going to lose a lot of the progressive vote because she refuses to court progressives? Like, none of her campaign decisions make any sense. But I still like Tim Walz. I like that Tim Walz just called Elon Musk a dipshit. That's fun, you know. Don't tell my Kansas conservative family. I don't know if that was an intentional typo, but I appreciate it. I feel like you can only talk shit about Kansas if you're from here. If you talk shit about Kansas and you're not from here, I will fucking fight you. Like, I'll throw hands. The U.S. presidential race has fallen back to neck and neck, which is facepalm worthy. Yeah, like, how did you fumble this bag that fucking badly? Man, this is no longer a chill stream if I'm going to cuss like that. If I'm going to get all worked up like that. I don't appreciate the direction that she's taking her race. There's 2 fucking weeks. 2 weeks, okay, everybody? Calibrate. 2 weeks until the election. That's not good. Like, that's not good. I went to Kansas once and I didn't like it. It was too dry and hot. When the fuck did you come to Kansas and it was dry? It's so humid here. No typo. Born and raised in McPherson, Kansas. Nice. Yeah, you're allowed to shit talk Kansas then. No one else. I will throw hands. I don't like the Midwest. It was in the summer. How was it dry? It's consistently quite humid here. We can go back to talking about farming clothing fibers and making our own clothes. I know, Nuvenal. It's terrible. I do think that I would like to have a pond on my land, and consequently, I think that it would be cool to grow cattails, because cattails have like tons of cotton-like fiber, and you can use that to make fibers. Right? Oh, dry compared to Florida. Okay, fair enough. That's fair. I just moved to Iowa a couple weeks ago. Why would you do that? I hope it went smoothly though, Jonathan. I had the misfortune of growing up in Kansas. You get all 4 seasons, but it is dry AF. Y'all have clearly never been to New Mexico. If you think it's dry in Kansas, wow. Hemp and flax would be more ideal than silk in certain parts. Yeah, probably. Flax, I mean, and we grow flax for its seeds, so you would have a food source and a fiber source. What's the actual word for the cattails? Like, they're called something else, right? Typha. Typha is a genus of about 30 species of monocotyledonous flowering plants. Cool. Reeds. You could also guys call them reeds. I don't actually know what makes the best fibers, though. There's also tornadoes in Kansas. Tornadoes scare the shit out of me. Yeah, I mean, they're like tornadoes are not that common. Well, I mean, they used to be less common. They're got a pretty active tornado season this year, but um it's not like a hurricane that kind of covers an entire area. At least like a tornado has like a path that it goes along, and most of the time it doesn't go through towns and cities. Water weenies, true. As any of you familiar with the song? They're fairly common water reeds, but they're not edible. He's talking about cattails, and then he's like talking about how they look like corn dogs. Me want bite. Me want plant corn dog delight. Me think water Twinkie nice. That's a funny song. When are you moving? I'm moving in January. So now that the Renaissance Festival is over, by the way, hit like. We've just hit 40 people in here on a chill stream, and I want to see if we can keep that momentum going. I'm moving in January. My partner and I do Renaissance Festival basically full time during that season, which is why we have not been having Sunday streams. Sunday probably streams probably will resume this week. And so now that that's over, we basically have 3 months, and I'm gonna start kicking my partner's ass and being like, yo, you need to find a job. Like, we need to start getting this shit figured out. So, like, once he has something figured out with, like, what he's planning to do work-wise when we go up there, then I will be able to get in touch with landlords and be like, hey, this is our situation. My partner has a job when we get up there, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, basically we have, like, 3 months to figure that out. And it's plenty of time, but it also feels like it's not very much time. So, yo. Please feel free to donate to the GoFundMe or directly to the website. Either way. Why no can eat? Yeah, why no can eat cattails? Not an expert, but my understanding is cotton is also both water intensive and labor intensive. Plus, they need more. Yeah. I mean, my understanding is that the cotton plant itself is like thorny or similar to that. So, like, if you harvest it by hand, like, it will bloody your hands, which is part of why cotton harvesting in like the slave labor version of that industrialized process is kind of horrendous, because even if they weren't literal slaves, and like slavery is a fundamental crime and violent injustice, they were also being made to do labor that was physically harmful. Hello, Mutsy. Says, hey, it's nice to actually join the live stream once. Much love from the Netherlands. Thank you. It's late at night there, and we will be starting to stream. So it's typically I stream Sunday at 12 Central Time, US Central, which is like 6 hours ahead of the UK, which makes it 6 or 7 hours ahead of the Netherlands, I think. Probably 7 hours ahead of the Netherlands. So yeah, basically like I stream a Sunday evening Europe show if you're interested in hanging out for that. Yay. I wonder if we can get to 50 likes today. I think that would be a good... We're kind of resetting the expectations for live streams because typically the live stream expectation is, okay, I'll probably get 60 to 70 concurrent viewers. If I title it something like Lamau J.K. Rowling or something like that, you know? But since we're not doing that as much, or I'm still kind of trying to figure that out, posting something like Chill Politics stream is not going to get as many clicks. So we're kind of resetting what the, like, okay, if on a chill stream we can get to 50 likes and maybe like 40 concurrents, that would be cool. The whole cattail is pretty much edible, but not the seed head. That's the part that he was talking about. Because at the time, there was like a trend where people would bite into the seed head and it would just explode in their face. Because it's like a highly pressurized thing and it's made to explode. You know, God made it to explode. I just think that the way that we talk about the way things are is it sometimes slips into creationist language. Like, humans weren't made to live in these conditions, or we weren't designed. Like, there's just like not a good way to talk about it without just straight up being like, well, they evolved to explode. Like, yeah, that's what happened though. They evolved to explode the seed heads so that the seeds would spread. But that's what the premise of the song was. It was that a lot of people were like, chomp, explode. Seed head just has to be processed correctly. I mean, that fluff is not edible, right? Like, that's a fiber that we would use to like do spin fiber with. It's not. It is insidious how the YouTube environment drives people to present their content as clickbait. Yeah, I actually, Milena, who is in the chat sometimes, I think she sleeps during the day right now, but she sent me a video from Veritasium from like 3 years ago about clickbait and about like finding the perfect mesh of clickbait and how, like, here's the certain challenges that it provides. You want to create a title and thumbnail that tease what the topic is, but doesn't give you too much information. So there's like a curiosity gap is what he calls it. Like, does this video create curiosity that your audience wants to click through and find the answer? And then, like, does the content actually provide the answer, or does it satisfy that curiosity? So, like, a bad kind of clickbait would be a clickbait that the answer is not in the video, or something vague, like, you're not going to believe this, you know, like, those are not the best kinds of clickbait. But like, yeah, it's, I mean, we call it clickbait. It's marketing. Or what Veritasium, he said that Brady Heron came up with this term. Legit bait is like what you're aiming for. You're aiming for a title and thumbnail that generate that interest and create that curiosity gap in a way that is not exploitative or false, essentially. I don't think the fiber length of cattail is good for spinning. It's too short, but good for stuffing like down. Ooh, yes. Yeah, Nuvenal. Yeah. The seed explodes when you get to the head. You heard it here first. I really enjoy the content on self-reliance and building a homestead. I get so much joy from growing crops in my little garden. Yes! Yes. I'm going to have to really mine for stuff to talk about on the side channel. Oh man, I am supposed to go rabbit hunting here soon. And someone my husband knows said that he would take me to some places that he knows, and I'm like, that would make me feel safer. I would feel safer hunting with someone than hunting alone, even if I'm not planning on being out there for very long, because I'm legit, like, I need to get a holster so that I can carry my gun if I go hunting by myself. Like, that's my bow. The plan is to bow hunt rabbits this winter. But I also have a gun, a handgun, for personal protection, and I feel like I need to be equipped with my concealed carry before I can go hunting by myself, in earnest at least. Yeah, because it's just, I don't know, I just feel like going hiking by yourself at like, it would feel safer if I had another person or if I had a dog or something. Oh, that's a bummer. Drea says, a lot of videos I see lately ask questions they do not answer, or they pad out a 60-second video to be 15 plus minutes by rambling and adding filler. Yeah, that's a bummer. I've also noticed recently that I have noticed an increase in the number of misspellings that I see on the text in a thumbnail. So and I don't know if it's like, I personally feel as though if you're putting something in your thumbnail, that you should double check and proofread that. So I'm like, okay, are people making more mistakes on like this thing that's kind of important to the marketing of your video? Are people just making content so fast that they don't proofread? Or I guess a lot of the time you just assume that you spelled it correctly and you didn't check. Or are people deliberately putting misspellings in their thumbnails so that people will click and be like, dude, you misspelled that? You know what I mean? But yeah, it's a bummer that more videos lately are asking questions that they don't answer. It's hard, I think, to make compelling video and thumbnails, the video titles and thumbnails, excuse me, that accurately convey what is in the video and like aren't boring, you know? I'm betting that a misspelling draws attention to your thumbnail. Yeah, I think that's so cynical and sad. I want to learn how to use a bow and gun, but I don't trust myself with a gun. Yeah, I highly recommend getting a bow. They're cheaper than guns, and they're a lot of fun. You can use them in more places, hypothetically. But, you know, I got a gun because I wanted to protect myself, so. And they're fun. Like, if we're being honest, guns are fun. Maybe this is me reading too much into it, but a lot of thumbnails I've seen recently looked suspiciously AI generated. Maybe that also explains the misspelling. As far as I'm aware, I guess I don't know how ChatGPT works. I have never paid for ChatGPT. I've used the free version of it sometimes. It can be useful for like I asked it, are there any philosophical works that cover this topic that I want to read more about? Because I was having a hard time. I asked on Reddit and I was Googling and I couldn't find like the answer to the question that I was asking. So you can use that and then double check it and be like, okay, does this book actually say what ChatGPT says it says? And I know that it can produce images, but I don't know if it can produce images with text on them. And I've noticed that when AI generation tries to generate text, like on Photoshop, when it tries to generate text, yes, I've played around with it a little bit in Adobe as well, because I already pay for Adobe. But it often misspells things, but like it'll put two letters next to, like, it'll spell read like REEAD. Like, it'll put an extra letter in there because it doesn't understand language. So I am not certain if people could AI generate thumbnails whole cloth, including the text on them. I tend to assume that that is still a human error or human decision, but I would not be surprised if AI continues on a direction where, like, you could whole cloth generate the entire thing. I'm just not coordinated enough or have good enough eyesight to use a bow. Yeah, unfortunate. 40 likes? It's still not showing me 40 likes. It says 39, but still. Let's go. Let's go. Man, I want to drink kombucha so bad. My kombucha's too fizzy. Too fizzy to drink. I just kind of keep drinking water. There were a couple things in the stream recommendations channel from today, or for today. So now that we've yammered on for quite some time about random topics, let's see. How many likes does it take to get to the middle of a jawbreaker? Great question. So someone posted an article about POTS and why is it more common now, which is relevant to me because I have POTS. Or at least some kind of dysautonomia that basically matches the symptoms of POTS, but then also has additional symptoms. Haha. Does this article say anything that I have not already said before? Okay, this is a relatively short article, so let's just kind of glance through it real quick. Okay, so what is POTS and why is it more common now? Excuse you, sir? 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 Sir. Cases of postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, otherwise known as POTS, have increased since the pandemic. The condition is mostly found in women and can be debilitating, affecting people who were seemingly healthy before. It can be exacerbated by a viral infection like COVID-19 and does not have a cure. Do you make your kombucha yourself? Yes, I have only very recently gotten into making kombucha, and therefore only very, very recently have I been successful. I made some strawberry lime kombucha, and it was really, really good, actually. Yeah, I just recently got into it. A friend gifted me some SCOBY, and it was awesome. But, okay, so this says, yeah, POTS is a condition that causes a number of symptoms when you transition from lying down to standing up, such as a fast heart rate, dizziness, and fatigue. So that's why it's called postural orthostatic, like having to do with postural, and then orthostatic means like you're moving through different positions. So maybe you're like sitting down and then you stand up and then your heart rate accelerates and your blood pressure drops because your body cannot coordinate the balancing act of blood vessel constriction and heart rate response. So basically what happens is you stand up, and for most people, your blood vessels constrict, which increases the blood pressure so that the blood can get to your head. With POTS, there is a coordination problem. That's why it's a dysautonomic condition. Like your autonomous systems are not working correctly. So what's supposed to happen is your blood vessels constrict and your heart rate increases a little bit, and that equalizes the pressure so that when you stand up, your brain has blood in it. If this coordination doesn't line up correctly, then what happens is you stand up, your blood pressure doesn't go up, and you might faint. A lot of the time, this causes people's heart to race because your heart is trying to pump the blood faster, and it's quite unpleasant. So, like, it's a coordination problem. Um, and yeah, like, also associated with the increased heart rate is adrenaline. So that's why sometimes people with POTS are misdiagnosed with anxiety, because it literally like causes additional adrenaline to go in your body. It's like, we need more adrenaline to get the heart pumping faster. That's the chemical signal that tells your heart to pump faster. So you just end up like with a constant state of like increased adrenaline and anxiety and like weird heart rate and shit. So it's quite unpleasant. Yeah, your body can't keep your blood pressure steady and stable. The condition affected between 1 and 3 million people prior to 2020. Now, research suggests that anywhere from 2 to 14% of people who were infected by COVID-19 may develop POTS. The most common trigger of POTS is a viral infection, says Svetlana Blichtyan, who is a neurologist and the director of Dysautonomia Clinic in Buffalo, New York. She continues, this includes viruses like influenza, parvo, and COVID-19. Apparently, there's also been a recent slew of diagnoses in teens and adults who were otherwise healthy. Specifically, highly trained female athletes have been affected. Who is this speaking? Self? These patients are young people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s who were healthy or had minor medical problems that didn't impact their lives before, and now they are expressing extreme fatigue, dizziness, headache, inability to exercise, and some are unable to work. Oh, that's Blichten. However, doctors are not quick to diagnose POTS. Since POTS isn't technically life-threatening, if you're fatigued or fainting, have a racing heart, a doc will likely scan you for other, perhaps more immediately dangerous things before considering POTS. Yeah. POTS is largely found in women, but, quote, it's not a lock and key situation with just anybody getting COVID and then POTS, says Camden Hebson. It's that some patients had a predisposition to POTS to begin with, and then something comes along, mono or COVID or something else gives them a push. Women are also thought to be, quote, more vulnerable to inflammation. Yeah, so interestingly, females, women, people assigned female, whatever, however you want to say that, something about like estrogen and the X chromosome makes, so females, first of all, like don't get sick as severely as men in some situations. And they also are more likely to have autoimmune disorders. So like lupus and rheumatoid arthritis and stuff like that. People assigned female are more likely to have those kind of conditions. And it seems that it's because the immune system is more reactive. So we're seeing that women as a group, because this is the group that's being studied, if we're being real, cis women, have a higher likelihood of long COVID. And that could be because the immune system is reacting quite violently to the presence of COVID or whatever else. And also, I think it's because women are subject to more stress in more areas of their lives than men are, just in general. That's just hypothesis on my part. That's not based on any like data. So it seems to me as though like that can be like a contributing factor to why women are more likely to have long COVID and other post-viral complications. Like the body is reacting, and then also stress causes more inflammation. I wonder if my partner has that. She gets lightheaded when standing up quite often. Yeah, you could suggest that she look into it. Some easy, so with POTS is not curable. You just have to manage it. So some things that you can do is if you don't have high blood pressure, you can increase salt in your diet. You can wear compression socks or like compression leggings. They can really help your blood flow. Increase fluids, like just drink more water. And getting salt along with that will actually help you get the water into your body. And then something that helps me is if I stand up and I start to feel faint, I flex my lower legs, which is a trick that pilots used to use before they had like compression suits that they would wear that would prevent them from blacking out during complex maneuvers. So they would flex their legs, and that kind of forces the blood flow. So those are some kind of tips that you just have to manage it. It literally is just you just have to make lifestyle changes. It's kind of the only thing to do. This continues by saying the stress associated with repetitive physical exhaustion could leave athletes at particular risk. Athletes may be predisposed to the condition. Some of those diagnosed also had hypermobility, meaning they have greater than average range of motion, which is beneficial in a number of sports. But hypermobility could also be making blood vessels more stretchy, impacting heart rate and blood pressure. I mean, yeah, hypermobility and EDS are associated with POTS, so it makes sense. Like, it's a connective tissue problem, and your veins are made of connective tissue. Also, there's myalgic encephalomyelitis / chronic fatigue syndrome, characterized by post-exertional malaise, a situation in which symptoms worsen after exercise. I think also part of the reason why athletes are predisposed to this condition is that they tend to go back to their previous activity level much sooner. Like, this is something that I'm dealing with. Like, I just had COVID, so I am not doing any cardio until like late November, where I might start doing so. Sometimes I have to walk around and do shit, but I'm trying to like keep my heart rate pretty low. Because I've seen people who are like a marathon runner who gets COVID and they start to feel better. Like, they start to feel the way that I'm feeling now, which is I feel pretty normal now. It's been 2 weeks since I had any active symptoms. And they'll be like, okay, I'm going to go for a half mile. I'm training. I'm doing a half mile. And then they feel all fucked up again. And yeah, I think it's for athletes, you're more likely to have complications because they try to get back to their regular exercise regimen, as opposed to like waiting for their body to recover fully and then like incrementally getting back to the level of exercise that they were at before. That's just speculation on my part. I haven't researched that specifically, but that's a hypothesis that I have. POTS has no cure. Steps can be taken to reduce symptoms, including exercise, very specific kinds of exercise, and very gently. Diet changes. Like eating big meals can also make your POTS symptoms worse. It's recommended that you eat small meals throughout the day. Sleep changes. I've heard that angling your bed so that the head of the bed is 6 inches higher than the foot of the bed can help. In some cases, medication. Yeah, like beta blockers are commonly... I was actually just diagnosed with a beta blocker. I haven't taken it yet. While POTS isn't life-threatening, it can greatly interfere with daily living and tasks. The good news is that a variety of treatments and strategies can help improve symptoms. Yeah. You might not be back to your full normal with POTS, but like my POTS was pre-existing. I've had POTS since I was probably born with it. I am not sure that it didn't get worse after the first time I was exposed to COVID, because I just honestly wasn't paying that much attention to my body before that. But yeah, I think that you don't want POTS if you don't already have it, which is why I would recommend that you don't catch COVID, because apparently between 2 and 14% of people with COVID end up with POTS afterwards, and it's unclear if that resolves at some point. Like it lasts for like a couple years after COVID and then it gets better. Like, we don't know. So thank you to 10K Reasons for posting that in the stream recommendations channel. I never do cardio because I hate it. That's part of why I want to get into hiking after I move. Because obviously it's beautiful in the Pacific Northwest. There's plenty of places to hike. I want to do an exercise that I enjoy. So I want to do cardio. And it's also like a full body, like it gets your legs going. You have to work your abs. I would love to start hiking as a form of cardio. I think it would be great. I can get quite bad orthostatic hypotension suddenly getting up from crouching. I do a lot of macro photography, but I put it down to being tall and fat. Yeah, I mean, I guess you being tall could have something to do with it, but hypothetically your body should have a baseline of I don't know. Like, I guess it's like, did you notice it when you were younger? Or is it more recent? Like, it could be worth looking into. And like, if you can make those lifestyle changes, that's all a doctor is going to do for you anyway, is like tell you to make lifestyle changes. So if you don't already have high blood pressure, you can increase salt, go ahead and increase fluids, maybe do some dietary changes. Like mild cardio is really good for POTS because you want your heart to be strong so that it can pump the blood. Um, yeah, all good options. Last few years, yeah, you might have developed POTS after a COVID infection. Totally. Oh, there's 42, like the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. I'm gonna run out of water soon. So sad. So sad. I think I retweeted some stuff that I maybe wanted to chit chat about, but I can't remember. Oh yeah. um Apparently Harvey Weinstein has been diagnosed with bone marrow cancer. It's like could not have happened to a better person. The incarcerated producer's diagnosis was confirmed by sources close to him. Specifically, he has chronic myeloid leukemia, which is a form of cancer of the bone marrow. I don't I don't know a lot of things, but I feel like bone marrow cancer is probably like a you're fucked, right? Like you're not coming back from that one. I'm just kind of glancing through this article to see if there's anything else interesting. I don't know if there's anything more to say about it other than crab rave. Yeah. He has been sentenced to 16 years. Reed says my grandfather had bone marrow cancer and he was fucked. I mean, like that's the part of your body that like makes red blood cells, right? Like it seems like that's not good. To come back to the kombucha, I found it goes really good with elderflower syrup. Ooh, that's fun. I don't doubt that bone marrow cancer is probably a terrible way to go. I think that's the kind of diagnosis you get where you're like, this is not a cancer that I can work through. Like this is not a cancer that any experimental treatment is going to significantly increase my likelihood of living. Like obviously very sorry about your granddad. I'm still laughing about Harvey Weinstein. It's like two different things. Your granddad was probably not as bad as Harvey Weinstein. So, but that's the thing. People don't get what they deserve. Like karma's not real. People like things just happen to people. I'm trying to think. I think I've had elderflower honey before. Pretty good. Someone commented on the video today, the world casts political event. You failed your wisdom saving throw. Take 5d12 psychic damage. Oh my god, dude. That's so much psychic damage. Ah! I have my not breast cancer story. Horrible, 1 star, would not recommend. Diagnostic protocol wasn't then what it is now. I worked through it, but in the end, it wasn't breast cancer. Sorry for your suffering. Right. So you were misdiagnosed with breast cancer and you were like, oh my God, I think I'm going to die from breast cancer or whatever. And then it's like, JK, it wasn't breast cancer. Yeah. Also, COVID is oncogenic, so it'll increase your chance of getting all different kinds of cancer. So don't get COVID. Yeah, people have just been so nice on the comments from today's video. I'm just like, I keep glancing at it every once in a while and see what people are saying. They're all being very sweet. Except for those maybe 2 people who were kind of annoying. My eyeballs. I think we talked previously about playing Dream Daddy. I was wondering if maybe we should do that toward the end of this show today. And you all could contribute and be like, what do you want? Like, what do you want to do with Dream Daddy? $18,000 later. Wait, did you have surgery on what was not actually breast cancer? Yo, that's fucked. Like, you would think they would want to make sure before putting you through surgery. Anyway, that's crazy. And then Drea posted something for us to react to in the chat, in the StreamRex channel. I'm going to be really interested to see what y'all's opinions are on this. What's this trend of these houses that you buy that are it's like a shipping container? And you can buy them on Amazon, like, for $25,000. Like, okay, so we've recently spotted a few different styles of vacation-ready tiny homes at Amazon. You can use it for a getaway or to bid goodbye to your current mortgage and move into this more affordable abode full-time. It's big enough to sleep a small family with 2 levels, up to 4 bedrooms, and a balcony for additional living space. Like, I'm trying to envision, like, okay, there's a door, so I can kind of get a sense of, like, how big this space is. It seems like it's not a very large space, but it's also only $23,040. Inspired by the shipping container home trend, this house is a sturdy 20 by 20 foot, 2-story steel square retrofitted with tons of windows and doors to let natural light fill the interior. The basic layout has a full kitchen and bathroom with separate wet and dry areas. Oh, it's the bathroom. It's saying that the bathroom, it's not like those tiny houses where it's like the toilet is in the shower, basically. 2 bedrooms and a living area, but the best part is you can customize the plan. Choose one larger bedroom or up to 4 small rooms to sleep more people. The price doesn't change as confirmed by the seller. All of this for under $30,000 when the average price of a house in the US is currently over $400,000. Like, one criticism that I have of this is if you live anywhere where there's snow, like, how, or rainfall, like, how is that managed on this flat surface? If it were a wooden deck, then, like, excess water would just fall through. But, like, how does that work on this steel-topped surface? I've been fascinated with tiny homes for years now. Yeah, my mother-in-law is interested in tiny homes, so I've known about them for a while. But given that you're moving soon, I thought the topic would be interesting. What I find interesting about it is how modular they could be, so you could potentially make a larger house out of multiple units. Yeah, that is interesting. Like, you could buy one, or you could buy 2 of them and then, like, cobble them together somehow. I'm like, how well insulated is this thing? And like, yeah, this roof has a slope, which is good. You need that. Like, how much weight can be supported on this end that's overhanging? And like, hold on, I'm sorry, I'm talking about it and not showing you. The roof being slanted is good. Does this overhang support much weight? Like, how hot does that thing get in the summer? I guess that's a question about how well insulated it is. Like, does it have central air conditioning? They could also be used to create granny flats for parents or guests. I mean, yeah, I don't hate that idea. Like, I don't mind the idea of like if I had a house and some land, having a separate tiny home basically for guests, or to like fucking rent out Airbnb style, I guess. I don't know. Like, um, I don't hate that idea. Do I think that a tiny home, especially a tiny home made of shipping containers, do I think that that is a full-time sitch? Um, like, is this thing, it's kind of hard to tell from the picture, but it kind of looks like there's a gap under the house. Cause I was just thinking like, does this thing have this thing does not have a foundation, right? So you would need to put it on a concrete block of foundation that had been professionally leveled. So you do need like a good solid place to put it. And then it does not have a basement. And like, is it even, it's direct, it looks like it's directly touching the floor on this side, but it does not look like it's directly touching the floor on this side. It's kind of hard for me to tell if this is like a Photoshop or something. It says photo, travel, and leisure from Amazon. So it's just kind of hard for me to tell how, like, what that situation is. Those are some of my initial criticisms, I guess, of it is. Okay, and I mean, this one's kind of cute. I think I've seen this one before. Or I've seen one like it where the sliding glass door part, it like, this whole thing pulls out. Kind of like an RV can like pull, like parts of it expand out. Like it's cute, but it's also, look at how tiny that is. Like it's only the width of a sliding glass door. That seems insane to me. But I did also at one point seriously consider living in an RV full time. And in retrospect, I'm like, wow, that would not be fun. I don't think that would be fun. I think if you did it like a couple times a year, maybe. Like, yeah, maybe I'll get an RV so that I can come down for the entire 7 weekends of Kansas City Renaissance Festival. But I don't know if that's like a full-time situation. These houses are not, hold on, let me read this. Steel container homes are known for their durability in wind, rain, and other inclement weather. Traditional shipping containers are even sometimes used as storm shelters because they're so strong. Okay, that's good. The one caveat, the brand says to keep snow from accumulating on the balcony, which is standard for any structure with a flat roof. Yeah, that's what I'm saying is like, how do you handle this flat roof situation? I feel like the engineering way to handle it would be to have like a 2-layer thing. Like, I'm imagining that the top layer could have like holes in it, or like a very slight kind of like this alternating pattern, and then like holes in the divot parts so that you can mostly still walk on it. And then underneath that, it needs to be sloped in a way like there would be like an empty space underneath. It needs to be sloped in a way that can just run straight off. Because, yeah, I think that would be pretty problematic if you live anywhere where it snows. Yes, I did have an $18,000 surgery on not breast cancer and had no insurance. Wow, I hope that you sued the hospital. I don't know if you did, but I hope that you did. Yeah, the question, too, is who has land to put that on? Like, you have to have land. I guess you could rent the land, I guess, and that would probably be less expensive than renting a house. I don't know, man. It's like, or if your mom has some land and like an area where she doesn't mind you building a really ugly concrete platform or something. Like, yeah, where do you put this thing? These houses are not portable. A lot of other tiny homes are built on wheels, but this can be disassembled, folded down, and refolded several times throughout its projected 25-year lifespan. See, that's a problem. 25-year lifespan, this is what I don't like about society. Honestly, just putting a 1/4-inch slope on a roof is enough to drain liquid water. Yeah, that would suffice. But yeah, this thing only intended to last 25 years. Like, this is not a house you can retire in. You'll have to get another one or move into a real house. I'm just imagining if it hails. Look at those, like, solid windows. I do not think that would be the best. I mean, it's cute in a certain kind of way. So, I mean, yeah, it's an interesting concept, but it's like now literal houses are basically just, yeah, we'll get it. We'll use it for 20 years and then it's going to fucking collapse. Like, what if we lived in a society where we built things that were intended to last for a while? This is part of why it feels like, so not only is the US like a younger country, obviously, but because we build things cheap and fast, you don't end up in a situation where, oh yeah, 300 years ago, somebody built this fucking castle and now there's a 300-year-old castle ruins that we can go visit. You know, like in Europe, there's these structures that are still standing, partially because they were made with decent materials at the time and partially because they've been adequately maintained. But yeah, I don't like this whole, we view things as like, oh, as long as they last one lifetime, that's good enough. Or in this case, as long as they last until you're 20, that's good enough. Like, no. Like, if imagine you bought one of these houses and you had a kid and you raised the kid in that house. Like, that kid is not gonna be able to return to their childhood home in their 30s. Like, there will be no childhood home because these things expire after 25 years. Except if it's anything like trailers, like trailer park living, people are going to continue to live in them well past the point at which they should have been thrown away, when they're rusting and like leaking and falling apart and shit, and they become unsafe. Like, this is just gonna be a super fucking dilapidated building in 20 years. I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, if it makes homeownership like accessible to people as a stepping stone, okay. But it just seems like we're creating more trash. It's kind of how it feels to me. And like, are these brand new shipping containers or are these recycled shipping containers that have already been used for their intended purpose? Excuse me. I don't know. I just have a lot of criticisms of this. It's interesting, but I just have a lot of criticisms and a lot of unanswered questions. Excuse me. Blah. I just feel like I want a house that has a lot more space. Is part of the criticism too. I'm like, I want to live somewhere where you can have discrete spaces for different things. Like, it would be cool to have a discrete space for like exercise, or like a discrete place for like, okay, one of the tragic things that I've done to myself is, this is where I work and it is where I get my entertainment and it is where I sit when I watch movies. Like, it's where I sit when I just want to crochet and listen to something in the background. I really would like to be able to do the thing that is healthy for your brain and have distinct places. Like, I'm sure any of you who've ever had your desk in your bedroom can feel this on a deep, profound level. That's the one discrete area in my house, basically. Like I do therapy in my bedroom, a telehealth therapy, and I sleep in there. And like there are bedroom specific chores that happen. Um, but like I don't hang out in my bedroom. But it would be great if I had like, this is where I record, and this is where I go sit to do crochet, and like you go to a distinct area to watch a movie and just watch a movie. Uh, of course, when you have ADHD and this culture of like doing a million things at one time, like, yeah, okay, it makes sense. I sit here and I might be watching a TV show and playing World of Warcraft, and then I stop playing World of Warcraft and then I pick up yarn and start crocheting. Um, and that all is just happening here. So I feel like if you live in a tiny home, it's kind of like those Japanese apartments, which are incredible. They're very cool, but they just find a lot of clever ways to like tuck things in to places that it's like, oh, and then you pull this out and that's the toilet, or and then you pull this out and that's the sink or whatever. And I can see that being beneficial in places where you really need to pack people in close together. It is just not a lifestyle that I am particularly interested in. I'm more like, I want to have like a house that's kind of big and like space outside that's kind of big and like options. And you know what? Maybe I do want to get a tiny house shed thing, and maybe that's where I'll work out or something, you know? I just can't imagine living. This first one said it was 20 foot by 20 foot, which is, oh my God, is that just 400 square feet? Wait, no. Yeah, no, it's wait, hold on. I can't do math. I'm not even going to pretend to try to do math. 20 foot by 20 foot. Yeah, it's 400 square feet. Like, and that's the bottom. I'm talking about this one. It's 20 by 20 on the bottom. That's 400 square feet. And then this top part is less than half the width, but it's a little bit longer. So let's just generously say that's another 200 feet. And then I don't think the deck really counts in the square footage. Like, obviously, yeah, you can go hang out on the deck, but this is a completely uncovered deck. So it's, yeah, I would not consider that part of the living space. So let's just generously say that this is 600 feet. That's crazy. I mean, for one person, I think if it was just me, myself, and I could deal with 600 feet. Like, especially if there's an upstairs, but that just seems insane to me for, even if you have just a second person or one cat. I'm like, okay, you're on top of me now. Like, I can't deal with this. Working from home has really hit me hard there. I stopped writing for several years because it was at my PC until COVID lockdown, and I had to also work here too. Yeah. I like the idea in a hypothetical future. I'm like, okay, if I have, my desk where I do a lot of my work and like maybe I play video games and stuff, but then like taking the laptop to a different room and like chilling with crochet and like the laptop or my phone for the entertainment while I crochet, or like go sit on the couch and watch TV while I crochet, or like, bring the laptop into my partner's office and sit like scrolling Facebook and spend time together. Like, I just prefer having separate areas, and it's not even just a preference. It's like psychologically better for you to do that. It's one of the big struggles of living in the space where you work. And it's why some people do the whole I go and write at Starbucks thing. Like, that is the reason. It gives your brain a discrete, like, okay, I'm in working mode. I'm doing this now. It's harder to get distracted. You're not like, oh, I need to go do the dishes or whatever. I have an 83-inch TV I haven't turned on in 2 months. Yeah, I think it has been longer than 2 months since I turned on our TV. It's just not a comfortable place to go sit, Neb, are you talking about the houses? Like that it's not a good idea to do steel container houses in the era of climate change? I mean, yeah, that's part of what I'm thinking when I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this big, broad-sided building, and I'm like, could a wind strong enough push this thing? Because it's just resting on a concrete slab. And like, what would happen to this building if a flood came through? It doesn't have a foundation, so it seems like it would more easily move. And that's, yeah, not even considering that it has a built-in snow collection area. Okay, y'all, I need to get more water and take a little break from my voice. So I'm gonna put on a little bit of music and go to the bathroom. When even houses are, yeah, it's fast fashion for houses. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Low quality, quick. Like, let's just go. Okay, I'm actually going to... Let's see. Okay. I'm gonna give you some classical music. But I'll be back in just a minute. I'm just gonna take a quick break and go to the bathroom and stuff. So I'm putting on a 3-minute song, and I feel like I'm probably gonna be back by then, but then I will sit and wait for the music to be over and then start talking, because it is a rest for my voice. That is the intention. Okay, hold on. Okay, be good. I didn't make it back in time. So sad. I had an additional thought about the houses, these how you get electricity in there, how you get plumbing in there. It's just a fucking modular house on top of a concrete slab. Like how you get utilities in there. How you do that. Like you have a new service brought out there. I don't know. IDK my BFF Jill. Just lots of construction questions. I have lots of construction related questions about this weird fucking modular building. And I've wondered about that too. Like the ones that slide, like the entire end, like slides out and creates more space. Like, do you just not have any permanent electrical wiring in the slidey part of the house? You know, like people love pocket doors, but the thing is that with pocket doors, you cannot put an outlet there or a light switch. So if let's say you have pocket doors that are two-way, so they both slide out like double doors, pocket style, and pocket doors, like they disappear into the wall. They just slide sideways into the wall, right? Just shoop. That means that you cannot have a light switch just inside the doorway, which is how most construction is. Like you walk into a room, bam, there's a light switch. Now suddenly you have to like decide where you're putting. Is the light switch just gonna be in the middle of the fucking wall, looking all hella weird? Like that's the kind of thing that I'm thinking about with these modular houses. Like how do you get electricity into here in a way that is safe and consistent? I'm assuming that the same requirements for any residential install apply because it's a residential application. But yeah, I don't know, man. Random Spooky Girl 3PO says, when I was a kid, my mom married a guy who made a shipping container house. It was plumbed to have running water, etc., but it took him a long time to get around to installing a bathroom door. Wow, all right. Priorities. It can be done right, but I'm glad I live in a real building now. Listen, like I do think that this has its application, but I just don't think that it's a permanent living situation. It might be good for guests, it might be good for... Like, why don't we do this for Airbnb instead of fucking actual houses? Why don't the Airbnb people just make, like, lots of, like, just one big giant concrete slab, or maybe, like, I don't know, if you want to do discrete concrete slabs for each one, I don't know, build, like, fields of these things, and then let the real houses be back on the market and bring the fucking prices back down. I would imagine they design tiny homes the same way they do motorhome and trailers. I highly doubt they would make a product without figuring out how it is going to be used. Yeah, so basically what I'm saying is, like, are these manufactured in the United States? Is it manufactured to a United States standard for those kind of construction things? And yes, it may be engineered to follow the rules, but that could be reducing the... Basically, I'm trying to say, like, it might reduce the efficacy of certain things. Like with the example of the pocket doors, it is less convenient to not have your light switch just inside the door frame, you know? You can just move it to be a little bit further away, but now you have a light switch in the middle of your wall. It looks weird and it's less convenient. Now I have to walk into a dark room and fumble to find the light switch on the wall to then turn on the lights, right? If you have, let me see if I can find the one. Let's see. Don't make any sound. I want to see it was like a video of them just pulling out the side of the house. Okay. Nope, that's not it. Like, I guess this concept is taking off a bit, like expanding tiny home.
Enter for your chance to win a tiny...
Shut up. Thank you. Okay. Like, if it's basically like an RV, right? And these parts can slide out. So, do you just have a lot of slack wire in the walls? Are there no outlets along this wall? Because that would break code. Like, you're supposed to have an outlet every 12 feet along the wall in a given residential room. So, like, where is the first outlet along here? Or are you just gonna have wiring that is constantly subject to movement, which causes damage and degradation? If you're still here, thank you, because I know that this is me having a construction background now, and I know that that's not like what you came here for. These container homes are fairly common in the Netherlands. They are mostly put up in areas where there are no permits to build a permanent building yet, but housing is very needed. There's one for housing students. It's in an individual dorm where you only need a door on one side and a window on the other, keeping the complexity and cost of manufacturing low. Yeah. So temporary housing, sure, I could see that being beneficial. I do still have my reservations about like the modular stuff that can move, because I'm like, how are you doing that in a way that is going to last? I mean, basically is the question. But if it's temporary and it's being replaced, I mean, this is kind of cool. This is like apartments or yeah, you said dorms. So this is like each shipping container is its own little apartment. And like, that's neat. At least that's a permanent structure where none of it moves. Or I guess what you're saying is like, technically it's not a permanent structure. And if it's considered a temporary structure under the National Electrical Code in the United States, I know that this is in the Netherlands, but like, you're allowed to do a lot of kind of insane shit in temporary situations that is considered unsafe for the long term. So the likelihood, if something is considered a temporary structure, the likelihood that the electrical wiring in it is such that it will become dangerous over time, like it's just more likely in a temporary construction, because you are permitted to do things in a way that's a little bit fast and loose. Y'all, I can't even begin to describe to you how fucked up the things are that you're allowed to do on a film set because it's considered temporary. So like, have you ever seen like behind the scenes stuff, and they have these like giant lights that are very precarious and obviously very heavy, and you're like, how is that getting enough power to generate that much light? Like, well, the movie that I'm thinking of, there was a Jordan Peele movie about aliens. I haven't actually seen it, but I know of it. And it was like, they're filming at night, but there's this huge lighting rig overhead. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff that's usually literally illegal in a temporary setting, because the idea is that you're going to be doing it under strict guideline, like under strict guidance or like strict supervision, and then it's going to be taken down. That's, I guess, the idea. So, and on construction sites, you can do things that are not considered legal for permanent structures. So, yeah, I would be interested in what kind of code governs the construction of these, like, it's technically a temporary building, shipping container buildings. I don't know. Oh gosh, I didn't have a lot else prepared for today. Anybody heard about this McDonald's E. coli thing? That's news. They think it might be the fresh onions, the raw onions that they put on the McDouble, or I think it was the McDouble. Which it just happens to be very funny that Trump was just did a little fake little photo op where he quote unquote worked at a quote unquote McDonald's, but actually they closed the building and he didn't have to do any real work. It was just a photo op. And then also it so happens that McDonald's has is linked to an E. coli outbreak where one person died in, I think, Colorado. Fun. Fun times. Well, I feel like it's time to play a little bit of Dream Daddy. Let me see if I still have this game installed. Yeah, huge week for McDonald's. Dream Daddy. Where? Oh, is it under... I put it under completed because I finished it? Yeah! Dream Daddy. Also funny that Trump was praising the cleanliness of the process of serving the food. I was watching something or reading something about how I think this person was kind of psychoanalyzing Trump and was like, he has a problem with germs, but in a way that makes him okay with his own germs. Like, I don't know. It was weird. It was like just like observing his behavior and the way that he dresses and stuff. It's like, is he just a not clean person? So like the idea of cleanliness is like, wow. The Trump McDonald's photo op looked so fake. I thought it was AI at first. I think that I maybe thought that too. I'm so used to dismissing things as AI generated that I didn't initially think like, oh, that's real. Also, what is the point of doing that? I don't really understand. Maybe it would seem less fake if it seemed like a good strategy. I don't know. Anyway. Headphones. Dream Daddy. Is everybody familiar with Dream Daddy? How loud is that? Oh my god, why? I hate it when games are... That needs to be quieter. This is supposed to be friendly to streamers, but yeah, it's a fucking full screen game. Removes copyright content. There you go. It is so loud in my ear. Snoring. Snoring. Oh my god, this game involves so much talking. Why didn't you do voiceover in your game? Yeah, what is the message even supposed to be of Trump being at the McDonald's? I don't understand. Amanda is one of the main characters in this game. She says, "Dad, wake up." Okay, wake up, pretend to be dead, 5 more minutes. You could technically weigh in on this, but I think unless it's a pivotal decision, I'll just make the choices. I'm gonna pretend to be dead. I let my tongue roll out of my mouth and stop breathing. Amanda shakes me. Come on, Dad, this hasn't worked on me since I was 6. I'm sorry, Amanda. This is the end for me. Dad, I swear to God. Amanda, I bequeath to you all of my earthly possessions. Spread my ashes over my recliner. Okay, well, your corpse better get into the moving van because it's leaving soon. Pretending to be dead is a life skill. True. I finally open my eyes and sit up. I'm lying in the middle of the living room, spooning a moving box. I yawn and stretch. Morning, Manda Panda. Ugh. Dad breath. Go brush your teeth. Dad tip number 41. Run through the finish line. Oh yeah, now we get to do this. Okay, I kind of want to do this quickly. Oh, this is intended to be a binder, I think. Like, you can be a trans dad. Have a binder. Okay, he's gonna be kind of an otter. Oh, you can choose to have body hair or not. I forgot about that. Yeah, he's still gonna be an otter. Okay. He's gonna be a Chad. This is good. Okay, hair. Let's give him Aaron Hansen's hair. Or Danny's hair? Aaron Hansen? Danny? Oh, it literally even has the blonde part of Aaron's hair. That's funny. Does he have a man bun? No, the Chad man bun. That doesn't work. Short hair? No, that's gross. What about that one? Oh, he's cute. Okay. Okay. And then... I'm gonna try to do this quickly. I'm trying to do this quick. Oh my god, what is wrong with these eyes? Why are all these eyes so fucking weird? Do you want to give him Vegeta eyes? Why? Why are there no normal eyes? Okay, sure. Make them blue. What about my eyebrows? Okay, I can change that later. Roman nose, bitch. Gay mouth. Side. Let's just give him this mouth. That's fun. Just give him the same color eyebrows. Oh my god, those are so powerful. Nice. Okay, let's do these ones. Character creator, one of the most important parts of a game. 3 hours later. I'm trying to do fast. Isn't there a whole binder tab? Basically body type. Like, it says athletic binder bod. So you can have athletic tank bod or athletic binder bod. Where was I? I was in facial hair. Does this Chad have facial hair? I like the dwarven beard. I don't think I'm gonna choose that because it covers up the chin that I selected. I honestly don't hate that. I kind of do, though. Glasses. Does he wear glasses? Oh my god, why are these glasses so weird looking? Okay, those are cute. And he's supposed to be gay, so make him pink. Yeah, okay. And then piercings. He has a... These are supposed to be snake bites. They do not look like they're below his lip directly, though. Let's just give him these. Yeah, let's give him these. And then clothing. Wait, hold on. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, he's got the titties. Let's go. Okay, what's his name? We have to decide on the name. I want to name him... I think I want to name him Thaddeus. Hornbuckle. Yeah. Thaddeus Hornbuckle. That's his name. That's the least amount of time I've spent on any character creation possibly ever. Did you fall asleep packing? I got most of it done, I think. Searching around the room, it looks like I did a pretty good job. Every box is sealed except for one. Straggler. What's in it? Looking into the box, I see a bunch of old photos and little photo albums. Whoa, I haven't seen these in years. I pull out one of the dusty albums from the top of the pile and we begin looking through it. Oh yeah, this is meaningless flavor, but we get to add more backstory now. Okay. That's the coolest baby I've ever seen. So you can choose whether you were with a man or a woman. The only way your father and I could get you to stop crying was to put the sunglasses on you. But whenever we tried to take them off, you'd start crying again. You spent the first 2 years of your life with sunglasses on. Nice. Halloween when you were maybe 4? Oh my god, that dragon costume. You couldn't decide between being a princess or a dragon, so you went with both. Princess Dragon. Oh, I love the tutu. That's cute. Why do I remember crying in that dragon costume? You saw yourself in the mirror and realized you were afraid of dragons. Seeing yourself inside the dragon's mouth was a realization of your greatest fear, I think. Fun. Yep, definitely repressed that memory. And this was you in your horse phase. Dad, I believe you named that plush horse Sir Horsington the Brave. I don't think that was his... Amanda lunges for the photo, but I quickly snatch it away and hold it above her head with my superior dad arms. I just noticed that she has an egg on her jacket. Is that because I have eggs on my shirt? I don't know. Nice try, but this is important blackmail for later down the road. Go ahead and try me. I've seen pictures of you and your ska band. The Communist Manifesto had a chance back in the day. I look off into the distance and reminisce about that rad horn section. Hey, it's Emma P. No, Dad, that's Emma R. I didn't meet Emma P until high school. Honey, I promise you wholeheartedly that I will never stop mixing those two up. Dad, Emma R has been my best friend since I was 7. Give it, like, a little bit of effort. Oh, right. Emma P was the one who... tried to steal people's pets, fired a flaming tennis ball at the police station, or pooped her pants during a sleepover. Tried to steal people's pets? No, Dad, that was Emma S. She moved to Kentucky 3 years ago. I miss her. I also miss my hamster that she stole, apparently. Sir Hamilton the Brave. I gotta show this to Emma R. She'll get a kick out of it. The first photography award you ever won. It's a ladybug. Yeah, and it got us a $20 gift card to McFridays. And then you got food poisoning from the cheesy tostada blasts. I think you mean food poisoning, you know, with a Z. Dad. Still can't drive past McFridays without gagging. Still proud of you, though. Amanda reaches deep down into the box and pulls out one last photo. Neither of us say a word. We stare at the photo for a long moment. I love you, Amanda. Heart. I finally decide to break the silence. Yeah, that was the day you were born. That was the day we adopted you. Yeah, so you can be trans dad. We got into a car accident right there in the hospital parking lot. It wasn't anything big, just a fender bender, but of course I was freaking out. And the little old lady who crashed into us was freaking out, and I didn't know what to do. But your father, oh man. He holds my hand and looks me directly in the eyes. The calm finish packing. The moving van won't wait forever. Thaddeus. There's so much talking in this game. I'm gonna fast forward past this scene. Does this even fast forward things appropriately? I remember when I shattered the other front window pretending to be a robot who breaks windows. You were a very imaginative child. Breaking windows. Lots of breaking windows. We get it, Amanda. You break stuff. And there'll be plenty more stuff for me to break in the new place. Memories to make and stuff to break. It stings a little bit to leave it behind. This is like them after her dad has died. Like her other dad has died. Now they're gonna leave. So sell me on our cool new pad. I clear my throat and do my best cheesy announcer voice. Nestled in beautiful, scenic downtown Maple Bay, our new house features... Honey, have you ever had dirty clothes? For most of my life, yes. Well, worry about that no longer, as our new place features machinations that will not only clean your clothes, but dry them directly thereafter. An upper-class luxury, I fear. The concept of clean clothes is no longer in the hands of the fat cats upstairs, sweetie. Anyway, it's also smaller than our last house. Cozier, one might argue. Good spin. I think it's great. Won't we be closer to a lot of cool stuff that we can walk to, so I don't have to waste gas? And I mean, trying to park downtown, you know. Amanda, you know you're gonna have to learn how to parallel park at some point, right? Listen, parallel parking is easy. Not gonna happen, Pops. I think someone needs to do a 3-point turn on their attitude. I don't know how to do that either. Have you met the neighbors yet? Not yet, but the neighborhood seems pretty quiet. So you won't have to chase any rowdy teens off your lawn? You are the very teen you mock when you say that, honey. I'm in my last year of high school. I'm practically dust. Yeah, you're a real... senior citizen? Yeah? That's the joke. Yeah. What's number 1 on the new house agenda? First, we need to forge a path through the solid wall of boxes that's blocking the living room. I still have to install the washer and dryer. We need to go grocery shopping. You have to promise me that we're going to take a break and explore the neighborhood. Okay, yeah, you're right. Let's do some work and then check out the neighborhood. Pull up to the new house. Hi-ya! And with a swift kick from Amanda, the for sale sign is no more. Nice form, Sweet Pea. I got a problem with authority! I'm so proud. Man, all that karate chopping tuckered me out. I could really go for a sandwich. An ice cream sandwich. Sweetie, it's 10 a.m. We need to unpack first. I need some coffee ASAP. Did you see all the dogs at the park nearby? I think this decides which daddy we meet next. For parallel parking, just own a Miata. Yeah, just own a car that's super tiny. Okay, this decides which daddy we're gonna meet first, so... which one's gonna be the most interesting? We need to unpack first. As much as I would also like to enjoy a delicious and healthy ice cream sando right about now, we got work to do, kiddo. And we need to make it snappy because there are 5 sealed crates of DVD box sets blocking off the bathroom and I gotta pee real bad. Well, don't let the entire cast of all 13 seasons of Shark Tank but with actual sharks stand in your way. Let's get to it. I get to work unpacking the various boxes around the living room. A couple hours pass and I get some good work done. The washer-dryer unit is both washing and drying, and we can actually walk through the living room without tripping over boxes. First visitor already. Walk over to the door and open it. Hello. Ooh, a handsome, clean-cut man stands at my door, brandishing a plate of cookies. Hello? Oh, where are my manners? My name is Joseph. I'm your next-door neighbor. Oh, yes. Hi, I'm Thaddeus. That's what my name is. I saw the moving van, and I thought I'd bring over some cookies. My daughter, Christy, wanted me to let you know she baked them herself. Joseph leans in and whispers. But between you and me, she just sprinkled in the chocolate chips. We both share a laugh. Kids, right? Wow, cookies, huh? So nice to meet you. Joseph hands her the plate of cookies with a smile. Well, thanks for the cookies. Amanda disappears with the cookies. Amanda, come back, and she's gone. That's my daughter. Her name is Amanda. She's a charmer. Daughters are tough. Sons are also tough. Children in general are just tough. I hear that. I mean, there'd have to be something wrong with you to try to raise more than 2. I have 4 kids. What have you done? This is where it starts to get fun. Oh, I meant... Don't worry, you didn't mean to be rude. Oh no, this is the first neighbor I've met and my social life is already in a tailspin. I wonder if it's too late to move again. Yeah, okay. Is the missus around? Mister, actually, and, no, not anymore. He died. Oh. I'm sorry for your loss. No, it's alright. Wow, this is uncomfortable. We stand there quietly for a moment, acutely aware of how awkward we both made things. I'm sorry, can you close the door real quick? I look at Joseph quizzically, but comply. After a second, I hear a knock on the door. Opening it, I see Joseph standing there with a huge smile. Hey, I'm your new neighbor, Joseph. I promise to not talk about your dead spouse this time. I'm throwing a barbecue for the cul-de-sac, and I'd love for you to come by and meet the rest of the neighbors in our community. What do you say, pal? That sounds great. My daughter Amanda and I would love to stop by. Also, 4 kids is a perfectly normal amount of children to have. We shake hands to seal the deal. Well, neighbor, I'll see you at 3 p.m. sharp on Saturday. Sure thing, neighbor. Joseph starts walking away, but stops to think for a second and turns around. Hey, in all seriousness, raising a kid on your own can't be easy. If you ever need to talk about stuff, I'm the youth minister at a church down the street. Oh, I don't know, I wouldn't really consider myself a youth. You look pretty young to me, but suit yourself. I love how I just said wink. Was that Aaron Hansen? Just saying wink. And with that, Joseph's gone. He seemed nice. Amanda walks back into the living room, crumbs on her face and cookie in hand. That was the smoothest recover I've ever seen. I should be taking notes. See, you're already fitting in great. Where'd those cookies go? They're gone. I'm sorry. If it makes you feel any better, they weren't very good. So you ate all of them anyway? I guess that makes it break time. Any ideas? Okay. How about... Let's go get some coffee. I'm feeling a little sluggish and coffee seems like the more responsible option than just taking a nap. I'm proud of you. We walk down the street to the Coffee Spoon, a cute little place on the corner. Man, this is in such convenient walking distance from our place. I mean, I guess. What's wrong? Why would I go somewhere else and drink coffee on a couch when I could just drink better coffee at home with on my own couch and not have to make awkward eye contact with other people? Thaddeus is a hardcore introvert. At least when I'm home, some random guy isn't gonna come up and sit on the recliner next to me and I won't feel like a little weird about it because technically he's not sitting at my table, but he is very much within my personal zone. Dad, and what's the etiquette when you have a dirty mug? Is there a bin? Do you go set it up on the counter because you don't know where else to put it? Or do you leave it there and feel your face flush hot with shame as you consider the possibility that there is in fact a bin somewhere just out of sight and now you're that jerk who left their mug? Dad, are you just afraid to meet new people? Yes, Amanda. We walk inside. Oh, it's so relatable. The inside of the coffee shop is incredibly warm and inviting. Vinyl records line the walls, and patrons lounge around on well-worn-in couches. Some cool tunes spin on a record player next to a little stage. Welcome to the Coffee Spoon, guys. How's it going? What's with the name? Oh, it's kind of dumb. It gets mentioned in this poem I like, and I thought it was a good idea at the time, and I suppose now it's still a good idea because, like, the business is still running, but people ask me that question all the time, and I give them this same answer every time, and now I'm standing here rambling, and I'm sure we're all getting more and more uncomfortable the more I keep talking, but man, we're in it now, and I can't stop. So what'll it be? I scan the chalkboard menu and am immediately overwhelmed. I'll have a Godspeed you, black coffee. Iced Tegan and Sarah or a chai Antword? Let's go iced Tegan and Sarah. Good choice. Oh, he liked that answer. He gave a heart. He gave hearts. I don't get it. Oh, it's a pun. Tegan and Sarah are this really awesome Canadian indie band formed in 1995. They were nominated for a Grammy in 2013 and are known for being masters of not only pop hits, but meaningful lyricism. I'm doing the thing again. But coming right up. And for you, I'll have a macchiato DeMarco, please. Coming right up. Do you want that in small, medium, or Biggie Smalls? Medium. Wait, is Biggie Smalls big or small? I should change that, shouldn't I? Matt sets to making our drinks, and Amanda and I take a seat on one of the couches. What's his deal? Let the man make his puns. They're cooler bands than you listen to, anyway. I saw Tegan and Sarah open for the Killers before they were big. That's so fun! Oh, wow. They've been around for such a long time. Hey! Ska was cool once. This couch is actually pretty comfy. Maybe not comfier than our couch, but it's alright. Good lumbar support. You sink right into it. Okay, it's comfier than our couch. Amanda nudges me. This place is right next to our house, and that guy seems not only cool, but also just as uncomfortable with talking to other people as you are. You should totally become friends with him. I don't know. Come on, what did we say about meeting new people? I can't meet new people if I always stay inside, and also don't go outside, and also don't talk to people. See, we're making progress. I love that he's a work in progress for her. Matt sets our drinks down at our table, and I have a sip. The iced Teagle and Vera is delicious. He got the name wrong. Hi, we're new in the neighborhood. I'm Amanda, and this is my dad, Thaddeus. Oh, right on. Pleased to meet you both. You ought to come by when my daughter's hanging around the shop. You two might get along. Yeah, I'm sure we'll maybe come in from time to time. Amanda kicks my leg from under the table. I'm sure we'll be in here a lot. You know what? Let me get you guys' opinion on something. Matt goes into the back and comes out with a fresh plate of something that smells amazing. I'm working on a new banana bread recipe, and I need help coming up with a name for it. Well, I think we're gonna have to taste test it first so we can, get the full flavor profile of, you know, and really appreciate the flavor sensations of... Amanda nods vigorously. She knows this game. Yeah, we need to give that Nana bread a taste if you want us doing free creative labor. I think that would be commensurate with, I've taught her well. So does everyone have a daughter? No, not... I don't think all the daddies have daughters. Although maybe I think a lot of them do. But not all of them. Yeah, I was just gonna give you guys free banana bread anyway. Right, yes, that. Matt serves us each a piece. Amanda and I happily chow down. This is amazing. Thanks. The secret ingredient is bananas. So any ideas? I'm stumped. Well, I think I might only be able to give you dad band puns, but I'll give it a shot. Banana bread Kennedys. Grateful banana bread. Or right said banana bread. I'm familiar with the Dead Kennedys and the Grateful Dead. I'm gonna go with Banana Bread Kennedys. You know, like the punk band? I thought you said you only knew dad band puns. I'm a hard dad. Are you a hard dad? Yeah? That actually has a nice ring to it. Really? Yeah, Banana Bread Kennedys. Strong decisions. That's art, baby. I wanted to say baby because I thought it would sound cool, but once I said it, I realized that it just doesn't sound good coming out of my mouth, and maybe I should just leave saying baby to the professionals. Enjoy your coffee. He recovers so fast. I appreciate him a lot. See, it sounds good when you say it. Across the way, a man catches my eye. He sits by himself, brooding over a cup of coffee. Our eyes meet, just for a moment. Oh, he's a bad daddy. Look at him, he's a bad daddy. I hastily look away, hoping he didn't catch me staring. Who is that? We finish up our drinks and head out. Thanks for stopping in. Take care. I did a little bit of one of these. I wasn't even meaning to. Okay, now that we're full of caffeine, where to? Okay, let's get some fresh air. Time to soak up all that vitamin D, make our bones nice and strong. Yeah, our skeletons are gonna get so strong, they're gonna hop right out of our bodies and crush cars with their bony fingers. Amanda, I already have an irrational fear that my skeleton will one day escape this flesh sack and run amok. Please don't encourage it. Right, sorry. To the park. Laserdisc is clearly the superior digital format. Amanda and I begin a stroll through the neighborhood. I cannot believe how beautiful it is outside. Kids are playing in the street, the flowers are in bloom, and the faint smell of a nearby barbecue drifts through the air. This place is nice. Too nice. I don't trust it. Good eye, honey. You can never be too careful. See that baby in that stroller over there? Government operative. We're on to you, baby. We walk for a while and eventually end up at a small park. Toddlers chase each other through the playground, and dogs of all shapes and sizes romp through the grass. It's pretty crowded, but Amanda spots a nice empty bench. We start to make our way over to it when... Heads up! Ow! A frisbee suddenly hits me in the face. Woof. A corgi with a neat plaid handkerchief tied around its neck bounds up to me, wagging its tail. Oh, it has a tail! Oh, that's cute! Oh, corgi didn't have his tail cut off. That's good. Hello, did you throw this thing at my head? Or I like your necktie. Did you throw this thing at my head? Bark. He runs around in a circle and nudges my leg with his nose. Oh god, this is the cutest dog. Can I help you? Impart upon me your wisdom, tiny dog. Pet the dog. Impart upon me your wisdom, tiny dog. Woof woof. How long do I have left? How did you know? Do you have tomorrow's lottery numbers? How long do I have left? What's that? I'm already too late? My fate was predetermined for me long ago? I have no real agency in this cruel lifetime? Rough, rough. Good night, Mutsy. I'll see you on Sunday. Hopefully. The government operative babies are really good at getting into character. True. You're right. I am the master of my domain, for fate is unknowable. Thank you, wise dog. Arf. You definitely could have caught that. A guy in a Hawaiian shirt jogs over to us and takes the frisbee from me. You know, frisbees are traditionally caught with your hands, not your face. Well, you're traditionally not supposed to aim for people's heads. It's a new technique. I'll catch it with my teeth next time. Yeah. But I'm fine, thanks. You're traditionally not supposed to throw it at people's heads, but I'm fine, thanks. Ha, I'm just messing with you. I'm Brian, by the way. I'm Thaddeus, and this is my daughter, Amanda. I look over at Amanda only to find her sitting on the ground, rubbing the dog's tummy. Hi. Your dog's cool. Ah, old Maxwell sure loves the attention. It's great to see another father and daughter out here on such a sunny day. Where's yours? Brian gestures over to a grassy knoll where a young girl sits on a checkered blanket. She's reading a book bigger than her head. She puts it down and heads over to us. This is Daisy. She's reading the Brothers Karamazov. Her teacher tells me that she has the reading comprehension skills of a high schooler. It's him? Are you saying that this is the daddy that you like? This is not my favorite daddy. How old is she? 10. She's a precocious little youngster. Whoa. My natural dad instinct kicks in. I must brag about my child's accomplishments. Oh no, it's happening. Brian, go on, Daisy. Tell him about yourself. Daisy, That's my girl. Thaddeus, Amanda, get in there. I love how this is like a Pokemon battle. It's pretty great. Thaddeus's HP 80, Brian's HP 80. Okay, brag, item, daughter, or flee. Let's brag. Amanda here just recently won a local photography award. Wow, congratulations. Brian loses 10 HP. Look who he is. Who is? Daisy actually just won a statewide poetry contest. You lose 15 HP. Daughter. Can't switch daughters. Amanda is your only daughter. Oh, that's funny. Okay, let's see. Grade card. You pull a wrinkled copy of Amanda's latest grade card out of your back pocket. Amanda, Dad. Awesome grades. Brian loses 25 HP. You really carry that around everywhere? Ouch, maybe it is kind of weird. You lose 5 HP. Daisy just started a weekly chess club at her elementary school computer lab. She's the president too, of course. Amanda says, dang, my high school doesn't have a chess club or a computer lab. You lose 10 HP. I think we're destined to lose this. Can I brag again? Last week, unprompted, Amanda helped an old woman with her grocery bags. It's extra powerful. Brian loses 20 HP. Daisy sold enough candy bars this year to get the top prize, a canoe. We're taking it out next weekend. How is that even possible? Amanda could barely get one of those sticky hand things. It's extra powerful. You lose 20 HP. Oh, we're up by 5. Let's see. Spelling bee photo. Fumbling through your phone's browser, you managed to pull up a photo of Amanda winning her 10th grade spelling bee. Wow, congratulations, Amanda. Daisy is getting prepped for her annual spelling bee right now. Hopefully this will be her 3rd win in a row. Yikes, you lose 5 HP. Did I mention Daisy said her first word at 10 months? It was daddy. Amanda's was potty. Still cute, but maybe this isn't the time to bring it up. You lose 10 HP. Oh, now he's up by 10. Can I flee? Do you really want to flee? No, I don't. Brag again. Amanda's in all honors classes this semester. Brian loses 10 HP. Oh, really? I'm actually talking to Daisy's teachers about having her skip a grade. Even Amanda kind of bristles at that one. You lose 20 HP. Dang, he's really got us beat. Boy, it's been such a treat getting to meet you two. Did he have to add insult to injury by being such a gracious winner? It's like it was a game that they were winning or losing. So I take it you guys are new to the neighborhood. We just moved in. Do you live around here? Yeah, we live in that cul-de-sac down next to the coffee shop. What a coincidence. That's where we live too. Small world. Yeah, Daisy and I are in that little ranch-style house on the corner. I know that house. It's just like ours, but slightly bigger and better landscaped. Does this guy have to outdo me at everything? What a lovely place. Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time. Really nice meeting you guys. You'll have to stop by at some point. Yeah, definitely. Bye. Brian and Daisy walk further into the park with Maxwell happily trotting along in tow. Do you get the feeling that he was trying to one-up us? Trying and succeeding. I can't believe that kid's only 10. What was I even doing at her age? I believe you had a bit of a thing for horses. Shame that didn't pan out. Could have majored in comparative horse studies. Already don't like this guy. That's what I'm saying. I don't like Brian. He is not the guy that I like. It's not too late to minor in horse creative writing. Too close to the truth, Dad. Let us never again speak of the fantastic adventures of Sir Horsington the Brave, an epic in 7 parts by Amanda Hornbuckle. We laugh off the horse epic and walk around the park a bit more, enjoying the day. Now it's go take a nap time. All this sunlight is making me real tired. I don't think I got enough sleep last night. You slept for 14 hours. Exactly. As we're walking home, I hear heavy footsteps come up behind us. Thaddeus, bro! I turn around and am greeted by a familiar face jogging up to us. Craig? Bro. Bro. Holy wow, I haven't seen Craig in forever. It's been too long, dude. Yeah, wow, you look great. Yeah, I cleaned up my act. Cleaned up his act? Are you kidding me? He's ripped. Amanda, this is my friend Craig. We went to college together. We were roommates for a while, too. Amanda, dude, you probably don't remember me, but you're so big now. Hello, and hello, cute baby. Aw, thank you. The last time I saw you, I think you were about her size. This is River. Say hi, River. He picks up her tiny wrist and waves it around. River gurgles happily. Cute. Are you babysitting? Nah, dude, River's my kid. Man, it has been a long time. Feels like one minute we're rolling up to exams with bad hangovers and the next we're both fathers. Where you been, man? I was working out in California and just relocated the business back to Maple Bay. No kidding. Amanda and I just moved to this side of town. How's Smashly doing? I mean Ashley. Ashley is her name. She actually still goes by Smashly. And we got divorced last year. Ah, dude, I'm so sorry. It's old news. We take turns taking care of River and the twins. It's all copacetic. Twins! You have 3 kids? Ain't life something, bro, right? Keg Stand Craig is a father of 3. Keg Stand Craig? Oh, yeah, it was my old college nickname. He got it because he did a lot of keg stands. It's that thing where you do a handstand on a keg and then drink from the keg. Right. He was very good at it. Ah, bro, I hate to be that guy, but I'm in the middle of my daily jog and I really gotta keep up my heart rate. Brought River along for, resistance training. You jog daily? I jog yearly on January 1st, when I promised myself that I'm gonna jog daily for the rest of the year, but give up after 30 minutes and just walk home. Well, it's never too late to get back into it, dude. You should join me sometime. I don't know. Come on, it'd be fun. We could grab breakfast afterwards, catch up. We could do a bro brunch like the good old days. Yeah, sure, it sounds great. Great, let's get that going soon. I better get moving. Good to see you guys. Craig gives a little wave, puts his earbuds back in, and jogs off. I can't believe Craig is ripped and has kids. I am reeling. Why's that? The Craig I knew is not fit to be responsible for any living thing, including and especially himself. One time I watched him drink an entire jar of marinara sauce for dinner. Amanda, he opened up a new jar of marinara sauce, and then he drank it like it was a thing that normal people do. It was unholy. And when I asked him what the hell he was doing, he said, and I quote, "It's basically a smoothie, bro." I mean, technically he's not wrong. He jogs. He was jogging. He's like a totally different person. Anyway, we better get home. I'll have plenty of time to reflect on how old I feel later. Dad tip, shave with the grain. Oh, you flop onto the couch. Too bad we're going to be putting my stuff right back into these boxes in a few months. No, don't say that. Oh, Dad, it's going to be okay. I'll be fine. I know. It's just, you're my little girl. It's going to be weird not having you around. I'll come visit and I'll text you every day and I'll take lots of pictures. I mean, obviously, I'm a photography major. You promise? Of course. Are you going to be okay all by your lonesome? Oh, come on, I'll be fine. I'll just get a dog or something. A dog? Forget art school. I'll stay for the dog. Is that what it's going to take? Medium-sized dog, handkerchief around the neck, I get to name it. That's what it'll cost for me to give up on my dreams. I'm a woman of simple wants and needs. Well, a dog is a lot cheaper than college. Amanda laughs. Suddenly, a pile of envelopes slides through the mail slot. Speaking of college... Amanda darts over to the envelopes and shuffles through them. She pulls one out and throws the rest back on the floor. This is from McGowan College of Art and Design. Open it. But I'm scared. It's just an envelope. Yeah, it's just like my entire future. Not a big deal. She takes a deep breath and rips the letter open with her teeth. We have a letter opener, but okay. I hold my breath while Amanda's eyes dart back and forth, scanning the letter. What does it say? The admissions committee has reviewed your application, blah, blah, blah. Her face drops. Regret to inform you that we are unable to offer you admission to McGowan College of Art and Design. Amanda throws a letter on the coffee table. Oh, sweetie. It's okay, I kind of saw it coming. I knew I shouldn't have put that experimental stuff in my portfolio. Their admissions officer told me they just want to see portraits or whatever. I pull Amanda in for a big hug. You're an amazing photographer. I know how much work you put into your portfolio. Some other school is going to want to snatch you up for sure. Yeah, I know, it's fine. Are you actually fine, or are you just saying that? I'm fine, really. Her face says the opposite, but I probably shouldn't push her on this. Oh, and before I forget, Emma R and Emma P are sleeping over tonight. So... You need me out of the way because I'm painfully uncool? I would choose more delicate phrasing, but yes. Well, I'll have you know that I conveniently already have plans for tonight, so you'll have the new place to yourself. Yeah, what are your plans? Quick, think of plans. I am secretly the mayor of this town. Amanda, the town needs me. I need to perform my mayoral duties. I must don my top hat and wear my monocle so that I may preside over my mayor stuff. I think you're thinking of the guy from Monopoly. He was a mayor, right? He was not. Right. I'm just kidding. I'm actually going to go to bed, go out and watch the game. I'm gonna say go out and watch the game. We're not gonna do it tonight though. We'll do it some other time. Ooh, we have almost 50 likes. Can we please get to 50? I'm about to wrap up. Which game? You know, the game. The one that you just lost. The game on TV at somewhere other than here. Okay, cool. While you do that, I'm gonna do drugs and commit some light arson with the Emmas. I'm concerned you're hanging with the wrong crowd. Amanda shrugs. I would have expected you guys to be up to white-collar crime by this point. Maybe money laundering at the very least. I'm a street rat, Pops. You're kidding about doing drugs and crime, right? Yes, Dad. Just making sure. I give her a pat on the head. Have fun with your sports. Are you being sarcastic? No, making fun of sports is played out. Alright then. I do some light cleaning around the house and decide to clear out right before Amanda's friends arrive. Before I leave, Amanda stops me. Hey, don't forget that you have that meeting with my English teacher tomorrow. Alright, Mr. Vega. Yep, totally remembered. I'll be there. Okay, so I think that this is the point at which I am going to turn this game off. Save. And then let me exit the game, please. She is I know. Their relationship is so cute. Very cute. Very fun. Very demure. Very mindful. Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna redo this real quick. Hold on. Okay. Well, my voice is very tired now. So, I'm gonna hop off of here. I managed to run us down to only 12 viewers. Thanks for sticking around. Yeah, I hope you have a good evening, those of you who are still here. And my plan is that I will see you on Sunday for Sunday stream, Sunday show. Maybe on Saturday, I'm gonna carve the pumpkin that I got last weekend. Ooh, that sounds good. All right. Much love, everybody. Be good. I know, Gayfesh, you've been here the whole time. Just vibing. Just good stuff. Okay. Maybe next time I'll play a game that doesn't require me to talk the entire time. Good stuff. All right.